right, false start there for a moment. Welcome to the Pylon Show. We had all sorts of stuff muted and nothing going right, and we did not even realize we were live. Uh
Hmm. That's what we call a
okay.
teaser, all right? A teaser
Yeah,
trailer.
that's it's like, hey, next time on
Yeah,
well, this time truly.
preview the episode.
Yeah. All right. Well, here we are, and I guess I'm just gonna go ahead and introduce the guests. First off, Robbie, how are you doing? You're back again.
I'm doing good. Yeah, good to be back once again. See that once again you just couldn't find anyone else, so I'm happy to be here.
No, actually, for this episode, if you recall, the day that you released your hands-free StarCraft, I messaged you and I was
You
like, "This is
did.
so
That's
cool. We're
true.
doing a Pylon show that has this on it eventually." And
That's
here we
true.
are. That's this episode where we're
Yeah,
talking about things that people have made for
yeah.
StarCraft.
Excited to talk about how I electrocute myself for donations.
Yes, that sounds amazing. Uh, well, we'll talk about that shortly here. I want to welcome to the show MasterRey. Some of you guys may not know him. He is the creator of SCR Chart, which is for StarCraft remastered replays. It's a fantastic program. How are you doing, MasterRey? You want to introduce yourself briefly for everyone?
Yeah, thanks for inviting me to the show. Welcome to all the viewers. Yeah, my name, as Dan already said, is Master Ray or just Ray. And yeah, I was just playing Brood War my whole life since 2004. And yeah, then I got into software development for my real life. And now I combine those two things, and it's nice.
Yeah, as people can hear, you are German. This is like kind of a funny thing I already
Yeah.
said off air that I didn't real I feel bad every time I have Europeans on the show because you're here in the middle of the night, so thank you for that. But then I was
Yeah.
like, but when I was typing to you, because I've typed to you several times, and like you type back so perfectly that I was like, oh, he must be American. But that's where I went wrong. I should have known you were European at that point. Because your English
Yeah,
was
but
so
it's a nice
It's
opportunity.
crazy.
So I will not miss this for one head of sleep.
well. I appreciate you coming on, man. Thank you very much. And nice username. I heard
Hello.
you're still making meme videos. What's up? How's it going?
Yeah, I might be. Just had one come out the other day. Yeah, I'll definitely be talking about the videos a little bit. I don't have like this one sick thing I've made to discuss, so I'm gonna be a little all over the place and talking about
Well, this guy's
modding and
bragging. He's got
magicking.
a ton of sick things he's made.
I
Oh, damn.
guess, I guess. It's not how I feel honestly, but
Guys, I've made so
um,
many sick things. I might need actually other people to
not,
remind me of the six
not what
things
I'm
that I've made because
not
there's
what
just
I'm
too
saying.
many for me to remember.
Stop. But yeah, dude, I'm actually really excited because I love talking about myself, and I think I genuinely have some cool things that you will be surprised to hear about for Brood War and stuff too.
Oh, cool. I can't
Yeah.
wait to hear about it.
Nice.
So just to give a quick roadmap of the show, I'm going to be, of course, introducing our sponsors real quick and how you can support the show if you like the Pylon Show and its content. Um, this week in StarCraft, we're going to try something new. We have a European on, so I don't want to use it at the beginning of the show. After everyone goes, I'm going to run through this week in StarCraft at the end. We're going to see how that goes. If people like that for episodes with Europeans on. So yeah, I don't want to make him stay up until the sun comes up or whatever.
I appreciate
And
it.
then yeah, we'll be doing our just the regular topics after the sponsor plugs, and then going into Patreon. Pretty easy, pretty simple. So guys, check out thepylonshow.com. This is our website. You can check out our podcasts, our show notes, anything about it, how to support it. We have forums on. Uh, it's just like your one for everything Pylon Show, which means everything StarCraft. So definitely check that out. We also have a link tree up. You guys haven't seen this. It's like this new website where you have all your links together in one place. linktr.ee/the Pylon Show. That'll show you basically everything that you need for it as well. So that's another great kind of hub for Pylon Show stuff. We want to go ahead and give a big thanks as well to our $100 Patreons, which is Mannered, Astrofin, Field of Sins, Jerry Wing, Shane, and VDAC. Thank you so much, guys. I believe we sent you some mugs or are doing so very soon. We appreciate this. And of course, for anyone who would like to support the show, we have some pretty cool rewards for doing so over on patreon.com/the Pylon Show. You can do things like submit questions each week. We have a pre-show banter segment that gets uploaded from just about every where we're just like shooting the shit behind the scenes before the show starts, things like so definitely check that out. We have a few goals here where one of them is to get a Korean pro gamer on with a translator, and once we get that going, if people like it, I will continually do it and like maybe mix one in a month or every 2 months or whatever seems appropriate, but start getting some Koreans on the show.
That'd
I
be
think
sick.
that's really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm excited.
Yeah, I want to get TY on here so bad. I love
Ooh,
that guy.
yes, yes.
I want to get Party on here without a translator. That would be amazing.
Get Party
but,
to translate for TY.
yeah,
Oh my god. Oh my god.
that would be just perfect. So guys, check that goal out. And we also have another goal after that one to get Tasteless finally on the show. He's an expensive man with expensive tastes. So if you would like to see Tasteless wake up early in the morning and join on to the Pylon Show, please consider supporting us over at the Pylon Show on patreon.com. Last but certainly not least, our Matcherino page, matcherino.com/the Pylon Show. We have some swag there that you can buy if you want to support in that way. We have a couple little quests that you can do on the side following various accounts for G Fuel and whatnot. And of course, there is the free printing money method where you just log in, click the contribute button, and type in the coupon code. This week, it's Earth because it's Earth Day in America today, right?
Yes, that is correct.
Right.
It is Earth Day today.
Sure.
All right. So type
And-
in Earth and you print free money for us. How sick is that?
Yeah.
Did you guys all type in Earth yet?
I just did.
That's good.
Typing it in right now.
Good.
I heard it's the 50th
Type
Earth
in
Day
Earth
today.
for us. Is it?
Yeah, someone told
Damn.
me it's the 50th Earth Day. I don't know how they
Wow.
when they
The
started
Earth is
counting or
even
why.
older than me. Look at that. 50 years.
So, happy Earth.
Yeah, that's when we started. All right. So that about does it for all that. Congratulations to the Earth, and thank you everyone for your support for the Pylon. Okay, so onwards with episode number 90. I can't believe we're getting that high in episode numbers. This is crazy.
That is a lot.
Yeah. So we're just going to be talking about the stuff that you guys have made and like why you've made it, what it's like to make, and just everything like that. Like sorry, I'm like rehashing some things I said before the show to you guys, but I feel like many episodes of the Pylon Show have turned into me just getting to learn about things I'm completely ignorant about, like how to make StarCraft, streaming gear. Here we are. I'm going to learn about the programming and map editing used to make all these cool things. That's cool. I think the place I'd love to start, because this is what gave me the idea for the episode, would be hands-free StarCraft with feardragon.
Yeah.
So for people that don't know about this, let me give my little thing, and then you can tell what it really is.
Okay.
Feardragon posted a little video that was just hilarious. He basically is wearing Jedi robes.
I love this
speaking
video.
to
This is
StarCraft
so good.
and playing an actual StarCraft game through only speaking, no hands. Like literally, your hands are like folded and stuff. So
Yeah.
tell us some about this.
Yeah, so a lot of people think that I came up with this idea because I'm like, really good-hearted Samaritan, and I'm like, yeah, it'd be really cool for accessibility if more people could play StarCraft. I was like, no. I suck at StarCraft, so how can I get people to watch my stuff while I suck? And I'm like, well, what if I suck more, but in a fun way? So then I made hand-free StarCraft. So yeah, the basic idea is your eyes are like a replacement for your mouse hand, and then your voice is a replacement for your keyboard. So you use your voice to say trigger like mouse clicks and keyboard presses and stuff. It's actually not directly interacting with StarCraft itself. It's just simulating keyboard and mouse click. And I have like a bunch of pre-programmed things. You could say like build Pylon, and then your eyes using the Toby eye tracker, which Toby was super cool, and they actually sent me one when I told them about this project, which I'm super thankful for. But it will basically, wherever you're looking on the screen, it will just replace your mouse to that location. So then you kind of combine those two and you can get StarCraft. So yeah, that was the whole idea.
It is pretty sick. Did you play like on the ladder? Did you just play custom games?
I played, so there was a weird thing. My computer's been a little bit on the fritz, or was around the fritz at the time. So like for some reason, every single time I tried streaming and using it, it was fine if I wasn't streaming, But if I streamed and I was playing or using hands-free StarCraft, then my computer would just freeze occasionally, but like 3.5 hours into the stream or something like that, or like an hour and a half in. So I didn't actually stream too much of actual playing on the ladder, but I did play on the ladder a little. I got to gold, which is cool.
No
Canada rushing.
way.
Wow.
Yeah, are you
And
serious?
I do want to shout out. Oh my god, I feel so bad because I had like a to do
How
on a
many
notepad.
games did you play?
I-
That's actually so impressive.
I think
That
I
is
played-
impressive.
I played like 30 or so, but I was cannon rushing every single game.
You played 30 games with that?
Yeah.
Dude,
I feel really bad
that's
because
so
I wanted to write
sick.
down this guy's name, but basically there is actually someone else who has done something very similar, which I think is called hands-free. I think he's called it hands-free StarCraft, and I've called it hands-free SC.
Are you
It's
talking about
literally the
streamer?
same. It's literally the same thing, but except he did it in a much more sensible way, and I did it in a more fun. So like I did it as you say, build pylon, attack move here, group 4, psionic like cast psionic storm here. And he did it as like a much smarter way because voice, all these voice commands take a long time to. So instead, he was like, well, what if every single one of these I just assigned to a syllable? So instead of attack move, it'd be like, or like, so you just hear him or you watch like videos of this guy playing and he's just going, no. And he's just, you see like this Zerg player doing like injects and all this stuff. And apparently he actually got Platinum League with it.
Whoa.
So
That's
I want to shout out to him.
that's amazing.
That one's actually, I think, open as well. So people can actually try that one out, unlike mine.
Ah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I almost
That's
now I
wild.
have this vision in my head of like assigning these syllables. You know that the blue chick in Fifth Element? Imagine her playing StarCraft singing like that. Oh my god, it would be amazing. She'd be like Grandmaster.
That'd be so sick, actually.
That's about
You
right.
assign it to like pitch volume frequency, so when you hit a particular volume, oh my god, that'd be so cool.
Oh man.
Part
I
two.
can't believe,
Part two.
I can't believe how many games you play. So what was like your favorite strat to do?
It was definitely Cannon Rush because
Because it was good or because it's just you and you love
it's a little bit of both, okay. But like so with the StarCraft 2, like you have to do the thing of a 3 pylon wall where basically you create a wall and then you're totally walled in inside your opponent's base, and you could build a cannon behind the 3 pylon wall that can't like pull probes and just. So I figured out how to like queue up commands, and so I'd basically use like an or like and then I would be able to plant down multiple pylons. And like funny enough, there were a few things I could do faster and better than anyone that was normally playing StarCraft because questionable methods of macros basically is really what it was. But I did message Blizzard and I got like a soft approval on this. So that's my.
So you're not a hacker,
so
is what you're.
I'm not a hacker, but I a few things like I could plant down all 3 pylons really than like so thing. Yeah, that part was good, and just static defense is really useful when you don't have a lot. So yeah,
That's cool, man. Makes me want to try it. You don't have any plans of releasing, do you? It's just
You
sort of like a hobby thing.
the sad thing is, so I made all this in Python,
Yeah.
and I also used I mentioned actually I coded all of this on stream. So anyone that
That's
knows how to
true.
code or does anything,
That's true. Yeah.
it's all of the code is available now. But I had some trouble packaging it, and by packaging it, I basically mean like making an executable, like a .exe that anyone could just use. And I ran into a bunch of issues, but I did actually make a version where it wasn't specific to StarCraft. It would take in like a settings file, and you could say like, I want this like this phrase like build pylon, or I want fire cannon, whatever. Like you could basically any words to any like particular keyboard presses or mouse input. So I made an entire thing like that, and I was gonna package and just release that and be forget hands-free SC. You can do this with hands-free Counter-Strike or whatever.
Yeah.
Hands-free legal. But I had trouble like turning it into executable. I might revisit that at some point, but it's like done, but just not really easy to pack.
You're
That's
telling me
exciting.
people use hands for League of Legends?
No, but it's
Nice.
only one hand, Dan. They have to
Nice.
replace the one hand.
Yeah,
Just
I got you.
Nice.
So I wonder, when is the first hands-free tournament going on? You organizing it?
Oh, yes. Not a bad
Oh,
idea.
I
Not
actually
a-
I did think about that at one point, but like again, it just comes back to like the whole packaging thing. If I could, I've actually really considered like, okay, if I could put in the effort, could give this to a bunch of pro players and see how they handle it. But
That
just,
would actually be
It'd be
really fun. And I almost feel like the right play would be to just make cannons in your main to start defensively. You know?
Yeah.
Think about that in
actually.
a tournament. You're like, well, attack move is going to be really strong, so let's just make some static B.
No, it's
Forge
so
expand would be sick, yeah.
actually spellcasting units were really, really powerful for this. Just because I had it so that I could say, instead of having to like select a unit, it's like selecting units, but once you had a unit selected, or if you had it hotkeyed, then I could just say group 4 Psystorm here. And it would instantly just be like 4T click. And I could do it like incredibly fast and everything. So like spellcasters were static defense was good, attack move was okay, but just the larger your army was, the harder it was.
Dude,
sure.
I'm not sure if this says more like about how amazing this is that this thing is you made, or just like how the people are playing at Gold League. Because you said you got to like, it's just it's amazing. But
I
also,
did
like, how
have-
do you lose?
There was
How do you
one game. I'm not joking. One of the most frustrating games I played, I remember very distinctly. I start the cannon rush, and then it's a Terran player, and they of course they do the thing where they just lift off. And I'm sitting around like trying, and I have to say the other hardest thing that I didn't mention is moving the map around. Because like imagine that every single time you want to move on, you either have a map with pinpoint precision, and then utter like the word there to click on the mini map, or you have to do this with your eyes. You're like rolling it over to the corner of the screen, and you're not actually now looking at the screen, you're looking at the corner of the screen to see if you've gone far. Like it's not a comfortable thing to do. So this Terran player is literally just floating from base to base trying to land, and I'm desperately trying to like build pylon at each one of those bases before you can land to prevent the command center from like that was actually the most stressful game I have to say that I played.
You're something else, man. You're playing some crazy other game.
Dude, NA Gold League, man, is probably one of the funnest places I've played.
It's so awesome. It's so creative, dude.
Yeah.
I kind of want to. I don't mean to like shift away from your hands-free stuff, but I want to ask about your shock bracelet. Your like your
yeah, sure.
You know what I'm talking about? Like how related to how related are these projects at all?
Yeah.
You did both in Python.
Are we just going like one by one through each one of the guests and talking about projects then, I guess?
Well, I mean, he already asked, so let's hear about the taser thing. If you could explain it for everyone.
So this is a blatant ripoff thing from another YouTube channel called Michael Reed, who is really in love with tasers. I don't want to use a taser, so I got something that's a lot safer. So there's this thing called the Pavlok shock watch. And the idea was this was built to like try and break habits with shock therapy, healthy doses. This thing actually can tase pretty like hard, and basically it's like this small little thing that you can just take out of this little rubber watch, and you just wear it, and it'll shock you on your wrist. So I got this because I wanted to try a few stupid coding projects, and I figured out that I could like hack into the Bluetooth and actually the Bluetooth connection and actually do stuff with it. So then I initially set it up so that people could donate and like have a chance to shock me, which I totally didn't get the idea from porn, even though apparently that's a thing. So
it's super a thing. Two,
I'm like, I'm not memeing. I did not know about this, but that was the reaction everyone has had. So I'm like, I mean, I got the idea from Michael Reeves, but okay.
I mean, that's the idea apparently.
So yeah, I did that, and to talk about what you were saying, Joey, like one of the coding projects I applied that to, besides just like my stream and stuff, which I occasionally will do. Smix, if you see this, please don't ban me. There is a project that I had in another video that I released called the Minimap Taser, which is I use the Toby eye tracker again, and the idea, you always know kind of the general area on the screen that the minimap is. So I just made a checker to see whenever you're in a StarCraft game, if you look over at that area often, if you don't look at that area for like X number of seconds,
It'll buzz
it'll
you.
just electrocute. So
That's
it's like
great.
train.
Interesting, yeah.
That's useful.
I thought so too, Dan. I thought so too. Don't think so anymore. So I learned after 3 games that first of all, 5 seconds as a timer to look at the minimap is far too often. Also, you don't need to look at the minimap every 5 seconds at the very beginning of a game. So that also was a little bit weird. But the other thing is I found that I became really good at looking at the minimap and really bad at everything else. Because I'd be in the middle of a fight, or I'd be in the middle of like planting. Of course, I cannon rushed one of the games. I'd be in the middle of planting cannons, and there's nothing else to look at. I'm in their main base. I see everything they have, and then I would get electrocuted for not looking at the minimap, and then I would lose my probe that was building the cannons. Like, it's okay. I think it'd be cool for like supply and stuff. I think that so I actually did this one. I did make a packageable version. Like I made an executable and I gave it to Maynard so you could use. I don't think he's used it, but anyone with a Tobii eye tracker could actually use this one. Yeah. And
If
it
you
doesn't include the electrocution. It just plays a sound effect. Yeah.
Oh, okay. You should send that to me. I'll give that a try.
Do you have a Tobii eye tracker?
Yeah, I actually Tobii eye tracker many years ago because I found I was dying to widow mine drops too much, and I would need to see him coming, and then I timed myself in regular games, and then I just kind of tried to focus to up it, and my MMR jumped after I did. And then actually recently they sent me a new one. I've been meaning to get it on my stream, but yeah, I have the new Tobii eye tracker now, so that's perfect.
I'll send it your way. I'm actually happy to release that one also. Yeah, I have to maybe make a few tweaks, but yeah. So I did that, and I think the most recent one project that I did was Twitch Applauds, which is also another thing it's actually one. I think it's over on feardragon.com/Twitch. But basically, it's just a bot that listens to Twitch chat, and if you can set like a key trigger word like PogChamp, or you can make it like a sub emote or whatever, and if enough people do it, then it creates like a gradually rising applauding sound effects. So, and that was like because of the whole coronavirus thing, we don't have offline events. So I did that one in order to like give people an offline like feel for online events. So,
that's sick.
Yeah,
damn, that is sick, man. Sounds like you've done a ton of Twitch projects, like they're all related to streaming and stuff.
Yeah, I think it's fun and it's easier. I do a lot of these on stream. Like today, like I was telling you guys like 3-4 hours ago. Everyone knows that Up a Tree Zelda hates his subs with a fiery passion. Anyone that subscribes to Up a Tree Zelda's channel, like he hates you, at a deep personal level. So, but the thing is, he can't really do anything about it because he's playing StarCraft most of the time. So I made a bot like 3 hours ago on stream that if you're a subscriber to the channel, he can turn on like unsub only mode, which is what I'm calling it. So if you're a subscriber, it'll ban you. And then if you're not a sub, then you're cool. So yeah, it's the opposite of subscriber mode. So basically, yeah.
Oh man, you are just so full of good ideas. I love it. I love it.
Are they good ideas? Is that the phrase you want to settle on, Joey?
I think it's such a good idea.
Yeah.
These are like actually amazing ideas. And if you don't make them, I'm gonna bug you and ask when it's coming out.
Like I was saying, I would love to have you program some stuff where you know it just filters my chat for me. Like if your MMR in Brood War is below 2K and you're trying to tell me to make ghosts, you just get banned. You know?
Yeah, that is a project I have already been thinking about.
Useful.
Yeah,
that is straight up useful.
I was thinking about making one that is like I have to figure out the logistics of like how to get people to link their Battle.net accounts and stuff to chat. But I think I have most of the pieces sorted out so that I could actually make a bot that literally sets an MMR filter. So you have to be above this MMR to talk in this channel. But I need to figure out how to get people to authenticate with Battle.net first.
Yeah.
I have so many great ideas for that. Like when someone types in the chat, it says like their MMR in what game and what race they play, because that will just tell you so much, right?
Yeah.
Someone's sitting there complaining about like Zerg or something, and then you just you see their race.
What did you think? So we were talking about this a little earlier today. I was talking to Ravi's. What do you think about the MMR bot? Remember they someone made
Woozbot.
one. Yeah,
Woozbot.
Woozbot. So you could probably do it in this chat room. Like you just type exclamation point
Yeah,
MMR.
yeah.
What did you think about that? Do you like you for it or against it? No opinion?
You're talking to Dan, right?
Yeah, Artosis.
Oh, I thought you were asking Ruffy. No, I love that. I love
Yeah.
stuff like that that will just actually check the MMR of someone. So like if there's someone in there talking, then you check their MMR and they're like 3K and you're
It's amazing. I think it's amazing. But
like, yeah,
yeah, it can kind of take over the chat sometimes.
I like it.
Yeah.
I
love
love things like that, giving people a reality check, man. This is like an increasing thing in my chat when I'm playing is talking about the Dunning-Kruger effect and how stupid people are. It's just like, oh guys, come on.
It
Uh,
is interesting.
MasterRey,
Actually-
do you know if there's anything that's like possible like that in Brood War? If there's ladder APIs or anything to get people's MMR in Brood War?
Yeah, sadly not really, because like a few months ago, maybe a year ago, like there was a website called star.gg, and that had all the leaderboards, all the profiles, all the MMRs, and that was really nice. I used it almost every day, and many people were using it for tournaments and so on as well. But I guess Blizzard disabled it. They actually disabled the API that the website used. I'm not sure what the reason is, but maybe they had too many requests or so. I'm not sure.
Did
Was
it
it a
happen
few months ago?
recently? Yeah, was it recent?
Yeah.
It was like 9 months ago or 6 to 9
Yeah.
months ago.
Yes.
Where they
So
disabled
they
it.
actually brought it back like a month and a half ago. So maybe it
Oh,
works
really?
now. Yeah.
Oh, did they?
Like
Yeah, so-
very,
Starlog.
it's
Starlog
very
is like the
recent.
best site.
Yeah, because I'm like bringing back my old Ladder Heroes tournament stuff because I used that for my event as well.
Yeah. So
Starlog.gg just brought me to StarCraft.com.
Oh, really?
Something
Oh,
fishy
no.
going on here.
Maybe he gave up the guy that's hosting.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's a
but I mean, there's like the biggest foreigner tournament going on, the BSL, and the BSL actually has a ladder phase where all the players they make a new account with like a BSL 9 tag in the front, and they register on that website, on the BSL website, and it has an automatic list of all the accounts with their MMR and their stats.
Oh.
There is a way, but I'm not sure what the way is. I actually thought about implementing it myself, but I couldn't find a way. But there is a way, but I guess Blizzard doesn't really like it. It's not like an official API. It's more like a hacky thing, and I don't think it's going to become big.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, that's too bad that that's gone. Actually, a quick question about the taser thing. How much did that hurt when you were doing?
Yeah.
So, it hurts enough that I like jolt up and my mouse comes off my mouse pad, but it's not enough that I'm like in long-term pain or anything. But to also give you context, the level that shock watch can go to, I have it set to 15%. So
Oh,
Jesus.
it's enough to stop me in my tracks for a second and like exclaim and take my mouse off of my mouse pad at 15%. So it can go multiple times that. So that's why I'm a little bit careful about it. So yeah.
Jesus, dude.
Yeah.
I remember there's a
putting on your keyboard hand, maybe.
I have also done that. Yeah.
We need to
But
link the clip where someone subbed, like someone gift you like 20 subs and it just went off for like 2 minutes.
So Jenna Bain came into my channel one time when I had it on, and she gifted me 100 subs.
100.
And I actually little bit of playfulness, but I was literally just on the floor, just getting tased basically for like 3-4 minutes. That was certainly something. Also, I one time I turned it on and I forgot that it was on because I just started my stream. It was like on a countdown timer, and then I went to the bathroom, and they
Oh,
shocked
no.
me while I was peeing. that was another thing that
Dude,
happened.
that would scare me so bad.
I-
That would be
Probably
so
make
funny to
it-
get a shock while you're shaking it, and then
Yeah.
it's just like, woo!
Thankfully, there was not too much of a mess, but you know, came back on. Wasn't super happy about that.
Oh man.
Yeah.
You should totally add the command for the subscribers of your chat that they can decide the intensity of the shock. I think that would be a great idea.
Yeah. See, right now, I'm already 85% sure it's actually a little bit against Twitch TOS.
The self
So
harm.
so my one saving grace here is if they ever like tell me to stop, I'll be like, but I've calculated the amplitude and like the output general of the shock watch and everything, and it's the same as the worst possible static shock from, you know, rubbing your feet on a carpet and touching like a door handle, but it's like a really
that
bad
can
version.
that can hurt.
Yeah, but
that occasionally hurts. Yeah.
but Dan, we don't talk about that.
You know, if
That's
they
the
ever
point.
come after you, just tell them that you're acting. You're like, what do you think I know how to program? Get out of here. I'm just
You think I
pretending
actually wrote this?
That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Very, very cool projects. And so, okay, you have the, like, you said the Twitch applaud one is open to
applauds.
everyone, and you said that I can have the eye tracker mini map one, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Totally.
See, again, this is all about me. I'm
Yeah,
just
of
like,
course.
oh yeah.
And hey,
so I can program.
if you want to learn how to code, I also I made one video that's like an hour and a half long, and the idea is it takes you. I know literally nothing about software development or coding. I can calculate the average game time from a set of replays, StarCraft 2 replays, like in an hour and a half. And I do obviously leave out some information. I'm not like teaching you a 4-year bachelor degree in computer science or something, but like I can get you to do something useful in that hour and a half. So yeah, check that out.
Sick. Well, speaking of calculating things from StarCraft replay, MasterRey, why don't we talk about SCR chart some? Can you just kind of tell everyone why you made it, what you made, just kind of explain it for everyone?
Yeah, sure. Yes, so in general, for anyone who doesn't know what it is, like the software is called the SCR chart, and I think many people who were really in the scene and playing competitively in StarCraft 1 know the tool Broodwar chart, and that was already a software where you can basically analyze your whole replay collection, all of your replays. You have it in a nice like table. You can filter, you can sort, and you can actually see some details from all the replays. And yeah, when Remastered came out, the software still kind of works, but there's a bit of wrong info and it's not really working so well anymore. So I just thought, hey, I always loved this software. I want to do one for StarCraft Remastered. The replay format changed a bit for StarCraft Remastered, so there had to be some modifications. But yeah, I basically programmed it from scratch, and yeah, it's a tool where you can get a lot of your replays and not just watch it in StarCraft. Yeah, so that's basically my motivation. And also there were a lot of like little projects in the StarCraft scene over the many years, and very often it happens that like there's a project, it's very nice, and then at some point it just stops working because of some updates or so, but the developer actually like disappears or so, and then it's not working anymore, and it's really sad. So I really committed. I'm really committed to this. My main goal is that I always be there and support it, and I want to have the community really forge the software. I made a Discord and I asked a lot of people, what are your ideas? What do you have any suggestions that can improve the software? What features you want to see, and so on. And I took all those ideas and tried my best to put them in. So it's still a work in progress, but there were 2 versions released already, and so far it's nice. Yeah, has been going great.
That's sick. That's sick. There's actually not a lot of tools for like 1v1, Brood War stuff, because I was looking at tools, and when I go, I have so much to talk about in terms of like UMS, map making, map editing. There's even like third-party map editors. But if you want to like get anything out of your 1v1 games, there's not a lot out there. So it's actually really cool that you've done this. I'm just kind of curious, like how did you figure out the replay format? For one thing, do you just have to how do you even go about figuring out that kind of thing, when there's a file format and it's just completely unknown?
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a complicated topic, but basically, just to give like a short summary, like a StarCraft replay is just a big list of bytes, and you basically have to like figure out what bytes are what numbers or what texts and so on. And I did not do all that from scratch. Thankfully, the StarCraft scene did a lot of great work over the many years. The scene is quite old already, so there were actually some people before me who figured out most of the structure of the replay format, what information is where in the replay file. That changed a bit with release of Remastered, so I had to figure out little adjustments. Okay, this information which was in the beginning of the replay file now moved a bit to the back or so. I had to figure that out, but in the end, it's just a lot of hours committed, and I was really happy that I finally got it to work.
Download, where do I download this thing? Because I want to download it and check it out.
There's a website. It's called scrchart.com. You can check it out. There are also like a lot of like explanations about the features, what you can do with the software. There are some screenshots where you can just get a look before you actually want to try it. And I guess just check out the website scrchart.com, and
I'm checking out right now. What I wanted to ask you after like my follow up to that is like, so if I download this and run it on my replays, well, these screenshots are actually, this looks great, man. This screenshot kind of answers my question. I'm just curious, like what's some stuff that I would learn from my replays? Does it tell you like who's your biggest enemy on the ladder or something, like who beats you the most, stuff like that?
So first of all, like one big part, there are basically 2 parts. One big part is that you can easily look through your whole replay collection. Let's say you have 20k replays, and you want to find a specific one against a specific opponent on a specific map, a specific matchup or so. There are like a lot of filters that you can use to sort the whole list of all of your replays. And the filter options are very great to find your replay. And if you actually like found a replay or you just want to look around, you can also like just double click a replay.
This is really
like
cool.
The second part.
I'm looking at the screenshots right now. It looks really cool.
About the look, I have to say, I tried to make it
these graphs. You have graphs
as perfect
like
as
StarCraft
possible
too.
Well, about the graphs, sadly, they are not in StarCraft itself, but
it looks like at the end of a StarCraft 2 game, you can go look at your resources span or whatever.
Yeah, that's the APM in my software. So sadly, there's no information about like the income graphs or the like the money or army
I got really
excited.
It's the first button I click on after every game. It's my graphs.
I mean, graphs are always good, so you can check out the APM graphs.
Man,
software.
this is exciting. So
I mean, you can see it on stream right now. So I tried to make it look as much like StarCraft itself. Like I copied all the button like appearance from in-game and tried to make it look like StarCraft itself. And I mean, you can also like export your whole list. For example, I have I am in contact with some tournament organizers. That's always a great use for the software. If you organize a tournament and you have a big list of replays that your players of your tournament send you, you can easily, for example, also export the whole replay list with all the stats to an Excel file, for example, and then you can do some calculations there as well, and just do some additional things with it from Excel, and or you can import it to other software of whatever you want to do. So I try to make it as useful as possible for like any different kinds of people, tournament organizers, players, or just some people who just have fun at looking at graphs, for example.
That's me.
Yeah.
That's sick though. There's actually a lot in here. I'm super impressed.
Yeah. Have you found like that it's reasonable, there's enough information in these to see like when buildings are successfully completed or placed and stuff, so you could identify? This is obviously, I think, even more work and stuff, but like identifying loosely like what build orders and like categorizing them and that kind of stuff. Do you have any sense of that, if that's even possible or reasonable to?
Yeah. So that's like the most difficult topic about
Mhm.
the StarCraft replays, the build order. That would be the most useful feature, I would say myself personally,
Yeah.
to be able to filter your replays for certain build orders, so you can practice specific build
Yeah.
orders or look at
Mhm.
replays of
That would be
people
sick.
doing a specific build order. And it's possible to some extent, but sadly, the way the information is stored in StarCraft replays, you have basically a StarCraft replay is just a list of commands given by the player. So you have something like player A is building a probe, but that command is just when he clicks the probe button. So when he actually has no minerals, or he's supply blocked and he's spamming the probe button,
You have to figure
a
that out
big
yourself.
list.
Oh wow.
Yeah, sadly, there's no minerals, no mineral information, no gas information, no
What? Really?
supply information, and no death information. So let's say you have a lot of probes. For example, I thought about having a probe count graph, for example, worker count graph. But let's say there are some mutalisks, they go into your base, they kill some probe. Cannot detect that set. There's no death information. I'm not sure
That's interesting.
how many probes died, and so I can't decrease the worker count. So there are some limitations for sure. That's just because the replay format was basically created 20 years ago or 21 years ago. So
That's actually, if I could just really quickly ask this question before it
Yeah.
leaves my brain. So if it's only recording like the clicks that people do in the game, how when you watch a replay does it reenact the RNG elements like missed shot? Like up
Good
Ooh,
question.
The randomness in games works that way that like you always have a starting number. It's not true randomness.
Yeah.
There's always like a starting number,
Mhm.
and then you have a very complex calculation. And from that starting number, you have a list of seemingly random numbers that are not truly random. So if you have this starting number, which can be very long, you can actually know all the different
Oh my
numbers.
God.
So this is
So
true for
that's
all
how
computers,
it's
by the way.
replays are getting played.
So
When the
Yeah.
game starts at my 5th vulture shot going uphill is
Yeah.
gonna miss?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
kind
the
of.
replay
Yeah.
is basically
Free
safe,
will
yeah.
really doesn't exist.
No, not on computers. Randomness
com-
on computers is a very fun topic.
Yeah. So the way
Yeah,
that
I
like,
mean it's a big topic.
all computers basically like at the beginning of a game or when like StarCraft initiates, there's something called like a seed number, which is what MasterRey was talking about. And the seed number is picked, and it's kind of still random just because it will access that seed number at different times. And usually a lot of like random generators will use like your current timestamp, and then it'll use the seed number and do some complicated math to generate some other like pseudo random number. So the timing of your vulture attack, maybe if you had done it like 1/60th of a second later, you would have gotten a different seed number with a different timestamp, and you actually could have gotten that hit. So I just wanted to make sure I conveyed that to you, Dan, so that every single time you miss a shot, you just think, what if I had just fired a little bit earlier or a little bit later? Because now it'll be in your back of your mind.
Yeah. So Yeah,
Thank you
that's how
for
it works.
enlightening me.
But that seed number is stored in the replay, right?
Yes, exactly. The seed number is stored, so that's why if you watch a replay, it's basically the same list of random events played back that how they happened in the game. So yeah, that's how it works.
That was a great question, actually,
Mhm.
Artosis. But yeah, that's how computers do. That's why it's called RNG, right? Like RNG is built into everything. People love to pray to RNG god in Hearthstone, right? They don't pray to the randomness god; they pray to the RNG god because it's all about numbers and math and stuff. So, interesting stuff. I love it.
Yeah, I interrupted you, MasterRey. I'm sorry about that. I needed to know. It's like, how does this work?
Yeah. So one last thing about this build order filtering topic. Yeah. So as I said, this is just a list, and you can't know which command was actually successful and which was not successful.
Wow.
Because that is not stored in the replay because you don't know how much supply the player had. You don't know if he's supply blocked in that moment. So you don't know if that press on the probe button goes through. By the way, you can tell I'm a Protoss player. But apart from that, there are ways where you can, there are ways that you can think about to actually figure out which commands are valid and which are invalid. So, for example, if you know you build the first probe, for example, you know you can't build another probe for the next X seconds or so. I don't want to go more into detail, but there are definitely some ways to at least figure out the buildings that were built, because in buildings, building commands don't get really spammed that much, and you don't really spam multiple citadels or Templar archives. So that's the buildings are actually not as difficult to figure out. So with that, I can actually have a build order. So I can look through the replay commands and figure out the build order from that. It will probably not be 100% correct thing, but like 98% or whatever. And then there will be the build order filtering in the next version. Not sure when that's coming out. Will probably take a few months, but that's basically the big goal for the next version. So
that'd be amazing. Because then from there, like you were saying, you could have more sorting of like, hey, did you know that you have like a 25% win rate when your opponent 9 pools you or something, and then you get to see all these like statistics like, oh, maybe your build order sucks against 9 pool.
That would be
super useful.
That would be the most useful thing in the world if you could kind of sort by build order and like win rate. Like, oh, when when I get my command center at this time, like how often do I win or something? Because that's something I've been actually just focusing on lately, is trying to cull the strategies that I lose a lot with. I've just been like writing them down on paper after my ladder sessions and be like, oh, I lose every game with this strategy. Why did I think this was good? And it's like really helpful.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that'll be amazing if you actually get that to go through.
Yeah.
About the win rates, that's basically the second most difficult topic. I want to talk about that very briefly because I get a lot of questions on my Discord servers. Hey, can't you tell me who the winner of the replay is? Sadly, it's not that easy because again,
just
the
doesn't
winner
tell
is
you, huh?
not stored
You're kidding
in the
me.
replay. The only thing that are stored in replay are commands, and
Wow.
a command is leaving the game. Leaving the game is a command in the game. So when you have a replay and you won the replay, then the opponent left first,
You would
so
think.
then you're actually the winner. So if I can see there's a leave game command in the end of the replay, then I know you are the winner. So there's actually the information about.
So like whoever left last
Does the
wins?
replay stop recording when your opponent leaves the game?
No, it continues recording. So if you click this stay in game, it will keep recording. So, but if I know that like player B leaves the game, I know he lost the game. So actually, so then I can say, okay, player A must have won the game, obviously. But if you lose the game yourself, in the moment you leave the game, the replay recording will end and there will be no command like leave game in the replays. Then you have a replay that has no leave game command. So in that case, you don't know who the winner is. So that's a
seems
very
like nobody
difficult
won it.
topic.
Wait, but that
Yeah.
only happens when you leave the game yourself, which would be you losing, right?
If you lost.
But
So-
what if you killed all their buildings and they're like floating their CC around or something, and you just leave it? I mean, I guess you did lose then,
Mm.
right?
Yeah, at some point, yeah, I'm not even
Huh.
sure if you kill all the buildings and then leave the game first with the victory screen. Yeah,
Yeah.
that would probably be difficult, but that never happens in Brood War. Basically, it's almost
Probably
never
not.
that you have to kill all the buildings.
It sounds
so
like
that's
though
very-
for the most part you like are 99% of the way to having like an accurate win rate though. There's just this tiny little edge case where you, maybe it throws it off.
Well, it's no. It's if you like lose 50% of your game, let's say, so you win 50. There you have this leave game command where you know who won the game, and then you lose 50% of the games. You have replays that you don't know who the winner is.
Oh,
Of course, I can see, for example, in the autosave folder, I see there are 10k of MasterRey's replays. So then I know I'm actually the one saving the replays. So if I have no leave game command, I can see, okay, I lost this game.
right.
But for example, if you don't have this auto replay folder and you have, for example, a replay pack of a pro game, so you don't know who saved the replay, you can never tell because
Oh.
you have no leave game commands if the loser saved the replay, and then you can't tell who won the game, basically. I mean, of course, you can maybe see how many stuff the one player can build towards the end. If he cannot build as much, then he's probably losing the game. You can maybe figure it out that way, but you can never be 100% sure in that case. But for your own replays, as I said, if you have like the auto replays folder, the auto save replays, you can actually figure that out because you have a lot of a big sample size of your replays. So if you have a lot of replays without that command in it, that means you have lost the game. So for those, it would work, but for like pro gamer replay packs or so, it will probably not work. So that's sadly the limitation.
That is
But I
not
guess
a
if it works
limitation
for
that
the
I
own
expected.
ones,
Yeah,
Yeah.
me neither.
Yeah,
I don't.
it's crazy.
StarCraft 2
Yeah.
replays don't have that issue. I don't think.
There's way
No,
more
I
data.
don't think I
Yeah,
have.
there's way more
StarCraft 2
data.
replay.
That's true.
It's just such a different, like, it's 20 years apart, the games
Can
or
I-
whatever.
Can I ask you, MasterRey, if
Sure.
they theoretically added a new command, would that break a lot of people's scripts on parsing replay data? If they added a new command for like forfeiting or accepting defeat? I'm asking if I requested Battle or Blizzard, if I like wrote them an email and I was like, "Hey, so could you add who lost to replays? Because this would expand the Brood War capabilities for developers."
Yeah, I guess that would work. If they put this information at the end of the replay, the first part of the replay can pass as it was before. If they put it somewhere in the middle, then everything behind that gets moved a bit. So then you have to reprogram the parser, basically.
That
but
gets
yeah,
so
if they
weird.
put it to the end, it would work.
But if you had like a 2v2 game or something, that gets really weird, right? Because if one person leaves, you still want to record what time they left. And so to record what time they left, they'd have to have that inserted in the middle. And then it would oh god.
Yeah, I actually have not thought about too much about replays with more than two people.
Yeah,
so if it's two people, I can.
Sounds complicated enough.
It's still easy, but yeah, it's already complicated. But if you have different teams, there are fun maps where you have like 5 teams with different number of peoples in it, and then it just gets super confusing. I mean, yes, I guess you could figure out a way to get some of the replays right, but you will never achieve like 100% win rate. But as I said, at least for the autosaved replays, it should be possible. So I think that was something that most people need anyways. So you want to have your own replays filtered, for example, or you want to know the win rate of your own replays usually. So that would actually be possible, and I think that's the most important thing here. If you don't know who won some replays from a pro gamer replay pack, it's not that important. You basically want to check your own replays most of the time.
Yeah.
I noticed recently they added APM to replays, right? That's like a fairly new thing in not APM. Or is it? Yeah, it's APM is new in remastered replays, right? Like within the past couple of months or 6 months.
I think that's like, isn't that just an invention of the people who? Well, yeah, I guess it shows it in the replay when you're looking at the
Yeah.
replay, and they just added showing the worker counts as well.
Yeah,
with
that's
watching
yeah.
a replay.
That's
But
what I wanted to ask.
you
is
have the
that
list of
new
all the
stuff.
commands, right? So isn't it just generated because you know how many times they've pressed something, right? It's like MasterRey was saying, where even if you don't have 50 minerals and you try and make a probe, it will still record the action that you try to make a probe. So then it can just recalculate it as like the APM. That's what I'm guessing, right, MasterRey? Sensei Ray, please.
So the APM is just basically the number of total commands divided by the game time. Divided by the minutes. So yes, you can get the APM easily from that. And every command, even if it's not valid, counts for APM. So that's why that's how people get 400 APM just by spamming their hotkeys that don't even do stuff. So that's definitely possible. The work account is also an interesting topic. So the work account was added recently, or
yeah, it was pretty recent,
within the past few months. Yeah, I feel like at least this year.
A great ad, by the way. Thank you so much, Blizzard. That has actually saves me so much time when I'm looking at replays.
That's super nice. So I was super excited about this. I was actually planning to release a new version of the software, and then Blizzard announced, "Hey, we are adding the work accounts in replays." So I thought, "Oh, that is super nice. I will wait until with the release of my version to add that in. I will wait until they add the work account to the replays." And then they released the patch. No work account in replays. The replays do not have a work account. That might sound confusing right now because you can actually see a work account in replays, but it's actually not stored in the replays. When you like watch a replay in StarCraft, the engine, the StarCraft game itself, plays back the replay and calculates the work account with like the StarCraft engine, but the work account is not stored in the replay. So sadly, all the waiting was for nothing, and I cannot use that information in this yet.
Man,
that's brutal.
Actually, I have a quick question here about the like looking at the APM charts that you have. How do you calculate like EAPM? Because I know that over the years that APM and EAPM have been calculated slightly differently between the very beginning when APM was invented, and then like kind of in the middle years on Brood War chart, and now I'm not sure exactly how SCR chart does it, and then StarCraft 2 kind of has its own way to calculate these things. But yeah, how do you do that with this program?
Yeah, you're right. That there were different calculations for the EAPM throughout the years in the different tools, and there's actually even a Wikipedia page about how the different tools calculate EAPM. So what you can take away from that is that I really want to make clear to the community, there is no definition of what effective APM. Nobody is saying, "Hey, this is an effective action, and this is an not effective or ineffective action." There's no definition for that. You can never really be 100% sure if an action is actually effective or not. For example, if you have your army, it's the same pixel on your screen like 10 times in a row. Some people, they say, yeah, that's useless. Okay, we don't count. But now imagine you have some goons, or for then, let's say Goliaths. You want to go down a ramp, and you have 12 Goliaths there.
You got to click
that. You have to click it a lot, and it's not useless. You need every single click to get those Goliaths down the ramp.
3-4 Goliaths back down there, and everything else is in your main walking around. That's it.
Exactly. So even with that simple example, it's not easy to know what is effective and what not. But for some cases, you can really tell. So what I did, I didn't know the exact formula that the other tools used before, so I just did my own one. I basically have a list of rules, that defines what effective is and what's not effective. For example, let's say you press your hotkey that you have your factories on. Let's say you have 5 on your factories. So you double click 5 to jump to your factories. Then any additional click after those double click, so after the second click, there's no really reason for that. So if you spam your 5 hotkey 10 times in a row, 8 of those are not useful. So those get filtered out. So I have a set of rules like that that I thought myself basically. And yeah, so far, I actually, even when I thought about them myself and I didn't really know the exact calculation from the other tools, I compared it with a brute force chart, and it's actually not super different. So I think it's a good value, and it
No,
works quite well.
it looks good. I mean, as long as all the replays are basically being looked at in the same way, then I can't think of any way that would be inaccurate as to what you're trying to look at. Because I've gone through a lot of the replays, and sometimes I'll play a newbie that has 400 APM, and then I click on it, I'm like, that EAPM's pretty low, newbie. Maybe stop holding down keys. What are some of the things? Because you mentioned a couple things that people want and that you're kind of working on to include in it. Are there some other things that people like ask for a lot within SCR chart?
Yeah. So the things that we already talked about, the build order filtering, the win rates, those are basically the most requested feature. But I actually have most of the things, the small things, implemented already with the last version that I released, the version 2.0. But on my Discord, so I have a SCR Chart Discord. It's also on the website. Everyone can join there and just give me some feedback, tell your suggestions, ideas, and I'm actually trying to be as transparent as possible. So every single suggestion that comes in, I will put into a specific list of suggestions, and I will sort them by priority. And yeah, this list is there. I can look at it very quickly. 1 second. Yeah, so camera hotkeys was a feature. Actually, the hotkeys itself. I have a list of hotkeys right now. So the hotkey groups, I should say. But this hotkey group list that I have in the software right now is not really complete right now. So I just have the assignments most of the time of the groups, but not the selections. And I can't tell which units are in what group. So, but that's definitely possible. I know that. So that will be a feature that gets implemented soon. The camera hotkeys are sadly not stored, so that will not be implemented. Yeah, the filtering for build orders we had already. Then I had a feature like a whole statistics of your replay collection. That might be a feature that would be useful.
That would be awesome. I really like that idea.
Yeah.
As a selfish man, please.
Average game length and all that good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be
super
cool.
fun.
Especially if we could sort by win and loss. I mean, God, that's why is that so difficult? StarCraft 1, damn it.
Yeah, sadly
I guess you don't have supplies either. I'm trying to think like, is there a way you could, as long as you put like a little thing in the UI saying like best guess of who won instead of like definitive this person won, and you use information about like what units are alive or like something like that toward the end of the game. But I trying to think. You have such little information at the end of the game.
Yeah. The first thing that came to my mind is like, I know for the Brood War bots, the way they run Brood War bots is they run like they call it like a headless client. Basically a client where the game isn't even drawn. It just goes through the motions of the game. It basically simulates the game, skipping the part where it like draws the frame on the screen. So it just plows through really fast. And I'm just thinking in the back of my head, I was like, you would have to do that. You would have to simulate the
Yeah.
entire game to get any more information
Yes.
out of these replays,
Oh,
which is basically, you know, that's like he was
So-
saying, that's how they get the worker count, is the game does it all for you.
There you go,
Mm.
MasterRey. Just
Exactly.
literally remake StarCraft.
Just
on
make
your own, by
StarCraft, yeah.
yourself.
Why don't you
Yeah.
just remake the whole
But like,
game?
you don't have to do any of the GUI, so you don't have to do any of the UI, so it's easy, right?
Yeah, just use
Yeah,
the
it should
brewer
be
API.
easy. Will
Yeah.
be out next month.
Yeah, and make sure that you figure out
Yeah.
how the random seed generation and all that stuff works. So you can also simulate all of that and damage, and yeah, you're good.
Yeah. So the Open Brood War guys that did this for Brood War, they spent years on emulating the Brood War engine, and it's still not perfect. It's like, I don't know, 90% perfect or so, and they spent so many years on that with a team of multiple people, and it's not in StarCraft Remastered, and I don't think we'll ever see that in StarCraft Remastered. So
Yeah.
it's sadly not possible. One thing that was mentioned as well. Could I just put some information in the software and have like a little UI message, like a little note? Hey, this is just a guess. It's 100% accurate, maybe. I've thought about that, and I'm not really sure about that, because I don't really like my software to have 70% correct information and
Yeah.
30% incorrect information, because then you don't know what's really correct and what's incorrect anymore, and then it decreases the whole value of the information, I think. So
That's true.
I really want to have only correct information in it. So that's basically my goal here.
That's fair. It's totally fair.
Yeah, true. That's super fair. Also, my other favorite example of you saying how they tried to do like the Open Brood War stuff is that Blizzard also, when they released Remastered and they recoded everything, did not get everything perfect either. So
Yeah.
Blizzard had the original Brood War code base, and they did not perfect the coding of all the Brood War intricacies and everything. So yeah,
They actually lost
hope.
it, dude. Do you know this story? Have you guys heard about this story?
I heard it, but I was never sure if it was confirmed.
This is, oh yeah, it's totally confirmed. There's like a
Okay.
Kotaku article or something. It's super interesting. I'll go real quick. Yeah, they lost the source code, I'm pretty sure, to Brood War. They just like, it wasn't saved or whatever, it wasn't backed up. But some dude posted on Reddit or something on social media. He's like, I found this CD in a crate or something in my storage. What should I do with it? And it's like, in the picture it says like StarCraft Golden Master source code, and it's like the code to the game. What the fuck? Like, how did you even get this in? And Blizzard flew him out. They hooked him up with BlizzCon tickets. They ended up talking to the guy and they got the code from him. But they were already like a year deeper. They were already knee deep in development for Remastered. So I heard that they had done a ton of stuff remade already. And then some guy found the original code, which was obviously amazing. I'll get a link right after this, but yeah, like that. It's kind of amazing. Back in the day, so many old games, not even that old, maybe just 20, 15 years ago. Like, you would think these companies would hold this stuff really close, but like, dude, as the years go by, and the way the computers have come a long way in terms of backing stuff up, it wasn't such a practice back then. So it's just amazing. Anyway, I kind of sidetracked with that, but I thought that was crazy how someone just found it. Nice. Cobra got the link in chat if you want to check it out.
That's
It really
that's
is. Yeah.
wild.
Showing on screen.
I've seen that Reddit post. It's so amazing that some random guy on Reddit just has the Brood War source code
Yeah.
in his room.
It's like in his
incredible.
house. How does that happen? That is so
I
crazy.
know.
He must have been working at Blizzard when they created StarCraft or so, and then he just got it. That's it.
Just
Well, you
stole
see,
it.
all
Stored
pauper.
it 20 years.
If you read the Reddit thread too, like the top comment with like 1,000 points, everyone in the thread is like, bro, upload that fucking CD right now. Like, put it on the internet, please. I swear to God. I swear to, like, everyone wants it so bad, but he did the right move and he talked to Blizzard and he was cool about it. Like, you don't, it's not a good thing to do that. So he did. Yeah, it's a good story. Happy ending.
Would that be bad to upload the source code? I'm sorry, I'm so ignorant about everything.
Could be.
It's probably illegal for one. The
Yeah.
first thing. Two, yeah, it's just not like ethically, morally, it's a kind of a fuck thing to do
It's
because
like the way I would put it, to put it in like StarCraft terms, it's like imagine you're looking at a replay and you're just looking at it from your perspective. You don't have their like vision of your opponent, and you're like, what are the weaknesses in their in their setup and everything, and how their units are positioned. But it's all like fog of war, right? So you have some senses of like where your units have interacted with them and stuff, but you don't know where all of their units are. You don't have the full scope of everything. And then getting the source code is like, I have 100% map vision of everything, and the moment that you move out, I can like exploit this and everything. So you can just find a lot of exploits and bugs, and it's just like you get a lot more clarity into how things precisely work if you have the source code, and that lets you break things, and hacking and all that other stuff can be a big problem.
Bad from a security standpoint, like, and then like from a copyright standpoint, it's not good. It's just such a problem to do that. It's cool, really cool they got it back though. I think there are other games I've heard like Diablo 2, they don't have that. But again, I don't really know. This is just stuff I read on the internet.
Yeah.
And another big problem when they actually release the source code would be that many different people would build their own version of StarCraft. Some of them will do balance patches because they think something's imbalanced, like DTs drops. And then then we have other people who have the original version. Then they have other people who have their own one with maybe UI improvements or so. So you would have a lot of different versions, and it would split up the community, and only like a quarter of the community would play that version, and the other quarter would play that version. And I think overall it would just be the death of the because the activity in every specific version would be too low.
Yeah, you definitely do not want that.
Yeah. Actually, God forbid. I'm just actually even thinking about like really bad scenarios of ways that could be exploited as well, where imagine you have the exact details of how everything is read into memory for how like maps and stuff are loaded. And then if you found a way that there's like a buffer overflow or some other thing there, and you could start executing code. So now you can put a map out on BattleNet that like literally installs a keylogger or something on the person.
So
like, that's scary territory.
You're actually touching on something that actually happened. So back, I don't know what the patch numbers are exactly, but if you go look at the patch notes across all of Brood War, there were only like 15 patches or something ever. And there's like somewhere in where there's like 114A, usually it's like 114, 115, 116, and then all of a sudden there was like 115 A, B, C, D, D, E, F, G, and it's like, what the hell? And all these patches came out right next to each other. And it's like, what the hell was going on? Well, this is when our good friend Heinerman, or Death Knight, as he was called back in the day, found these buffer overflows that Robbie was talking
buffer
about.
Overflows, man. Fuck buffer overflows.
Yeah, so I actually hardly know. I'm not like a crazy good C programmer. I don't know anything about it, but I know that it basically would let you read or write to memory on your computer that you shouldn't be. and like Robbie was saying, you could write stuff that does nasty things on your computer, like you said, keep track of what keys you're pressing or something like that. But because the map editing community and the modding community in Brood War back then found these exploits like right at one after each other, and Blizzard was patching them, and then they find another exploit and patch it, and there were like 5 patches in a week, or not a week, but like a month, because Death Knight kept finding these exploits, and we were like, holy shit, like this, because it blew open the doors for UMS map making. This is kind of, I'm sort of taking over because this is exactly what I wanted to talk about. Hope you don't mind, but it's really interesting, I think, because it's just like what it did for UMS is unreal. I'm gonna link in the chat this. I'm getting ahead of myself a bit, but when Remastered came out, they had this issue where people had used this exploit to make gnarly UMS maps that you would never be able to make. You can change units, weapons, you can just I'm struggling, like the possibilities go crazy. You can change the graphics or a unit that you used to not be able to do stuff like that. But when Remastered came out, there was part of making it like a modern game was making it play nice with your memory and not do these weird exploits to your to Windows or whatever the hell it's doing. And so in this PDF I linked, this crazy, like something I was thinking about earlier today, where we always like to talk about this player's a nerd, that player's a nerd. We got some sick nerds over here doing this. The guy who did this is the king nerd of all nerds. Like, this is the craziest paper I've ever seen. He wrote an emulator for the EUDs, which is what the exploit's called, is like a EUD. And it basically just lets these cool UMS maps continue to work on an SCR. So we're completely off in crazy technical la la land right now. But the bottom line, like going back to what Robbie first said, is the exploits and stuff in Brood War were a very real thing that Blizzard took crazy measures, like crazy advanced, like they put a ton of work and money into letting these exploits continue to work in remastered. I know I'm way out there at this point, but like if you're into computer science at all, even a little bit, and you're into StarCraft, this paper is a sick read. And just like EUDs in general, if you're into map making, it's a sick read. I kind of wanted to tie this back to 1v1 too, right? Because we're all into like the competitive scene and stuff. Some of this stuff you can find out. There's a program called EUD Edit, which is like this Korean map maker. I think his name is like Trigger King or something. Made it some software that generates the EUDs for you, because basically it's like a ton of math if you don't do it with some software. And you can figure out stuff like what angle you have to be at to shoot. Like I was playing with the Vulture weapon, and the Vulture will shoot. I think the number in the program says like 64. It'll shoot at like a arc that's 64 wide, but the Marines is 16, so it'll only shoot like things that are in this narrow arc in front of it. All this data is just laid out in front of you in this program. So I didn't make this tool. I'm supposed to talk about tools I made, but some of these really sick, crazy tools that are just lying around for the sort of the UMS community, while these are things you might just pick up playing the game, like, oh, I have to click over here so my Vulture will micro and actually do a moving shot or whatever. You'll pick it up by playing, but like if you're into this stuff, you can just go read the angles or whatever that they can attack at, or how big the hitboxes are, like exactly. Like you can just open the thing, it says the Marine is 14 pixels tall or whatever. You can go read the size of the hitboxes. So I know this is like super technical kind of, you're not really playing StarCraft at this point, you're just reading the data that makes the game tick. But like it's interesting. I think it's fascinating. And if you can even like learn some things. I didn't know that the Vulture has a wider angle that it'll let you do a moving shot than the Marine or whatever. I didn't know that, but I did after playing with this a little. And like there's a bunch of stuff in there along those lines.
It's interesting that you say that. Oh God, I think we just lost MasterRey.
Oh no,
We did.
it's
He
so
gets back
late.
here.
I'm still here, but my webcam just broke down. I'm trying to fix it.
All
No
right.
problem.
Because I mean, MasterRey, you play a lot of StarCraft 1 as well. A lot of what you just said, Joey, was like,
Yeah.
I could have never told you this, but I'm like, oh, that makes sense, because I know what type of micro I can do with the Vulture to make it shoot, and what type of micro I can do with the Marine. Like Vulture, you can do flick shots.
Right.
That's what I generally think of them as in my head, where I can just make it go like this and shoot. You can't do that with a Marine. It's like a completely different way you have to micro that, for instance. So
Yeah.
I guess that's what that actually means.
Right. There's some numbers in here, and like the labels might even kind of be ambiguous. I actually got it open right now. I'm trying to see what it says attack angle. What the hell does attack angle mean? I don't know. But I know the Vulture has a 64 attack angle, and I know the Marines is 16. And when I play with it, I see that like the Vulture will just, like if you're, the target's way over here, it'll hit it.
Yeah.
Whereas the Marine, it like might turn to face
Mhm.
and like look right at it. So that like I actually don't really pick up on these things unless I play with this data editor crazy shit. So yeah, this kind of stuff is cool and fun. To be honest though, like the ramifications it has for the 1v1 competitive gamer crowd is small. There's not like a sick the SCR chart stuff is going to probably be way more useful to that crowd. But what the EUDs did and like all these tools for arcade and UMS in Brood War, like I can't underline it's like incredible. They've tore apart the spec for the map format. There's one last link I got for chat. It's really cool. But basically like how SCR chart has to read the like raw bytes and stuff of the replay to figure out what's going on. People figured that all out for the map a long time ago. That's how there are like third-party map editors and stuff for Brood War. So yeah, it's just amazing. The amount of tooling that exists for Brood War is amazing. Because again, like no one uses Blizzard's map editor. Blizzard made their own map editor, it's shipped with the game, and no one uses it because the community over 10 years ago wrote a way better one. It's SCM Draft. I'm sure you've heard of that. And it's written by
I learned about
SI.
that 2 weeks ago on the Pylon show.
Right. So like SCM Draft is sick, and the guy who wrote it was like super young, you know, because we were all young dudes playing this game. I think he was in high school when he wrote it or something, or like in college. And it was so much better than Blizzard's editor just because there's a lot under the hood that Blizzard's editor doesn't really let you get to. Not even under the hood, just like other units, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, man, it's I'm just emphasizing like it's crazy how much is out there for Brood War. And if you're a programmer type and you want to write your own tools, there's tons of docs out there to jump in.
That's very cool.
Yes.
Nice.
It's amazing to me too how many people I've met in StarCraft that like love computer science. There's something going on there. Like
There's smart folks. Like,
yeah,
I mean,
it's a real thing though. Like everyone's a huge dork, but like they're so smart. They're so smart. Everyone's so smart. I don't get it, man.
well, don't worry. I don't know anything about any of this shit. I know a bunch of Terran build orders, and that's about it.
Yeah.
But you will after this episode.
Yeah, the EUD thing, you've actually illuminated a little bit for me because Grant Davies was talking to me a little bit about it and how they like had to jump through a bunch of hoops to get some of the more popular maps working within StarCraft Remastered, but now I kind of understand a bit better as to what
And
that means.
in that paper, the EUD paper, like if you look at the maps, it's like what? Someone made this for Brood War? They have
Someone
a Mario
literally-
map.
Yeah. Literally Mario, Super Mario
Yeah.
in Brood War with gravity and everything.
Yeah, it's Mario. Like you look at it and you're like, how is this legal? And then you'll see them type in chat and you're like, wait, that's Brood War chat on top of Mario. And there's like 6 Marios and it's like, what the hell? It's just incredible. I never would have thought. Page 12, Cobra. What did you say?
Yes, it's page 12 in the document.
Thank you. Yeah, it's really crazy.
I believe there's only if I'm not mistaken, there's only a few EUD maps that actually work in Remaster right now, right? It's like just the ones
They
that
don't
Blizzard
all work.
supporting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's correct. They don't all work. Many of them do. It's kind of hit or miss, man. Yeah, but they did like gnarly, really incredible work to get the ones working that do work. I don't have a good, clear idea actually, because you can play with this EUD editor software thing, and you can just change a number and go test it out. And StarCraft will be like, nah, I can't load that EUD map, and it'll say that I know this is a EUD map, and I'm not loading it because I don't know what I don't know what you just did. I don't know what's going on here. So they built that in, you know, like the EUD emulator thing will look through to be like, can I work with this or not? But yeah, there you can just change stuff that it won't accept for whatever reason.
Cool. Very, very enlightening talk about the EUD. Does this build into some of the stuff you wanted to talk about that you've made?
Well, yes and no. So me, I'm just like I like the map editor, and I like video editing, right? So you hopefully saw my Artosis video recently. Like I'm just a big fan who likes doing creative stuff with the game, and like it goes back to me being like a 12 or 13-year-old little kid with Brood War. I really liked the map editor going back then, and only with StarCraft 2 did I really start to love like the RTS side of the game. I really got into like back in Brood War, I was just a UMS Tower D guy or whatever, fastest map. I loved Brood War, and I still do, but like I didn't get it. It didn't click until later. But yeah, so the stuff I've made, like all the stuff I've made is nowhere near as interesting as SCR chart or some of the stuff Ravi's made. I'd love to talk about it. So like I've done some SC2 modding, kind of shifting games a little bit over to SC2. Some of the mods I did, just to kind of be quick, I did a
Yeah,
camera.
We're here to
Okay.
talk about all this stuff today. Please go
Yeah.
ahead.
Sure, yeah. I try I get kind of shy or whatever to share all my stuff, but basically the one of the things I'm really proud of, and I would bring this up to Blizzard staff and kind of poke them about it and be like, "What do you think this is cool? Can we do some of this?" But basically, I made a camera mod, and I'm not the only person to do this. But basically, it lets you manipulate the camera in StarCraft 2 a little more freely. You know how like you can turn the camera 90 degrees this way or that way. You can go in or out with the camera in StarCraft 2, and that's kind of it, which is cool because StarCraft 2 is a 3D game and like there's a lot to see. As opposed to Brew War, which is like the units always look the same every time. There are only 8 directions of the unit, whatever. So the camera mod I'm proud of because you can do a lot of stuff like look around places you shouldn't be able to, and you can just
Like, what do you mean by that though? Like, are you looking behind terrain or something?
Yeah, there's a YouTube channel called Boundary Break, which is kind of similar, where they basically just like unlock a camera and like look at spots you shouldn't. So basically, you know how they do these fancy map intros, or they have for like GSL, or Robbie would have them on his stream even. He would ask me.
Yeah, who made those map intros on my stream again?
He would have me help them make these videos where the camera is like way the hell out here, and it zooms in like you see the
Oh yeah,
whole-
like the base trade map.
Exactly,
Videos. Yeah, I always really
exactly.
like those. Yeah.
Yeah, so those are only done by manipulating the camera with the map editor or like you have to do a mod. It's not built into the game, right? So I made a thing that lets you kind of just do that with WASD on your keyboard, just like you're playing a shooter game or something. And that's fun. You can also like save the cameras and queue them up, sort of making like make your own little video kind of. So I can like put the camera here and say transition to this camera over here over 10 seconds, and it'll go swoosh, and you can kind of I was doing that to make a tool basically for Ravi or other tournament organizers to make their own videos, like you're just saying, on Base Raid TV, on whatever. So let me
Check out the Pylon show right now. We actually got one of them playing. It's the background.
Yes, I actually made these videos for the Pylon show, the intro that plays.
So these are actually in the game?
Yeah.
Damn. See,
these shots from the Pylon show.
Gauntlet used it, right? For a tournament?
So we tried to do this for a tournament one time, and actually, like, it got a lot of attention.
Matches. Like live match. This wasn't like,
game.
oh, here's a replay and like you load it up in a custom app editor.
Yeah.
Gauntlet was actually messing around with the camera totally freely, like in the middle of the game while it was happening live.
Imagine you're in a GSL game or something, but the camera's like freely roaming around the map. Obviously, you don't want to move. There's a balance, right? You don't want to be like StarCraft is a game where you kind of watch the units move, not the camera swinging around place to place. But yeah, it was actually, people got really excited because you could zoom way the hell out here and then like zoom. Yo, look, he's attacking here, and it's flashy. It looks cool. And I got I got really excited about that, and I poked Blizzard a few times, and they thought it was pretty cool too. To be honest, though, it's kind of been stuck in this pretty complete state where you can add up cameras and stuff and do that. I'm trying to find a video at the same time here to show you.
I posted a link to one of the map intros you made for me. If that's helpful.
Awesome, thanks. Yeah, I have like a whole modding highlight reel. It shows a couple of all my best modding work. Basically, here it is. But the camera thing is the big one. That's the thing I think most people. It kind of turns people's heads a bit more than any of the other projects. I post a link in chat where there's music, so you might want to turn your music off. But that I still feel kind of excited about it. Like, I think there's potential there to have an event where the camera is doing something different than it's usually doing. It is a challenge though, because like there's a very fine line between this looks cool and like please fucking stop moving the camera, right? Like there's a very thin line to walk.
But you're empowering the observer, right? Like it's
exactly that's how I feel about it.
Because it's like if the person is just overdoing it, if the observer is just overdoing it with camera angles and stuff, in a sense, that's kind of their own fault, right? You have given them the ability to not make the camera do ridiculous things. So like, but now they also have the ability to mix it in. Yeah. but it's hard. You have to like an observer has to
Yeah.
practice with it and stuff.
Is that stuff like available for the professional tournaments? Like, for instance, does Mapu know how to use that stuff? Like, I can't remember seeing these types of scenes
So
really used in games.
I'm
like,
glad
for
you asked that actually. When I
Yeah.
first posted about this kind of thing, I remember a few people contacted me. Pig reached out to me. Funka reached out to me because he's doing more observing. I think Mapu has expressed some kind of excitement. It's hard to remember, but yeah, like people who did observing were like, "Yo, holy shit, this is gnarly." Because like Robbie
Mm.
said, the whole idea is really just to add more tools to the bag for
Mhm.
the observer, right? So in theory, we could just make observing look better, but there's like you would have to learn how to observe on this mod, et cetera, et cetera. That's where I was going for, but it's kind of on me. Like I didn't push it that hard. I kind of made it and I was like, yeah, this is sick, check it out. And then I moved on to whatever the hell I was doing next, Artosis memes or whatever.
Mm.
But I could push it more if I wanted to, but I am a little all over the place, like I said earlier.
I'll
But
just
yeah,
say, Joey, like
go ahead.
you know, ESL new production thing and everything. Apollo very open to ideas, always looking. I mean, Apollo is like the guy who's looking to improve things. I'm
Yeah.
just saying, pitch it.
Not a bad
Yeah,
idea.
yeah, you should send him an email about it because I think that could be really cool. Like we have cool things that they do with the cameras, but we're so used to the swivel zoom in on the Nexus. I don't need to
Yeah.
see that ever again.
Yeah,
Whereas some of
exactly.
these things,
That's
like,
one thing
yeah.
that would be easy as hell to make a little more flashy. Like you could make it a full fucking 360, or that would look like shit. But you could do
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
You created presets with the camera mod, right? Where you can like change it to a particular angle and stuff too.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, right now you can make your own. You can
Yeah.
make your own preset, and like that's kind of where it is. Like
So
once
like
you
to give you an
Go
idea
ahead.
of what that would mean is that like for the player intros, it wouldn't even be something the observer has to like manually input like this crazy set of like timings for the like intros and stuff. They could literally have a preset that they just press a button.
Yeah,
and it'll
you
do
would just
some
make a
crazy
button.
like zoom around like 360 4 times and then
Yeah.
land on the player.
So I still feel like there's potential, for to play with the camera and our observing, which we love to do so much.
I love the idea because there's so many portions of StarCraft 2 right now that are just like, what am I supposed to do when the fucking Reaper damages 4 lings every TVZ? Is this supposed to be exciting? And we show it, and I'm like, well, but if we could do something visually interesting there, I think that would be, it would spice it up. That would be
Yeah,
nice. We
absolutely.
don't need a patch. We just need new camera angles.
I like Camloid's suggestion. You do like a Reaper, you do unit point of view. So you just show the Reaper like
Dude,
doing the bouncing back and
honestly,
forth.
That would be
Not even
That'd be
a bad
hilarious.
idea.
That'd be hilarious.
You can
I
absolutely
get
like
dizzy though because it goes back.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
forth.
it'd just be going back and forth.
Yeah.
yeah, there's potential there. It's not easy though. Like that's a it's so core to the experience. Like it's one of the it's delicate to screw with.
It's really great because I remember back when StarCraft 2 was released, there was all this discussion about the skill ceiling, multiple building selection lowers the skill ceiling and so on. And now you created a tool to higher the skill ceiling of observing. So
Yes,
great.
yes.
People
true.
can get competitive in observing and be
You
the-
thought Overwatch
Yes.
League in Overwatch had hard observing? We'll take a fucking step back.
Nice. Yeah. So I'm very proud of that, and I feel very strong. Glad you guys kind of think that's cool too, because it is cool. That's some good shit. Some of the other mods that are in the video that I linked in chat. I made something for a base trade event once that I am actually going to revisit pretty soon. Where you can kind of mess with the map, or like an observer can mess with the map as it's being played. So this actually goes way back to an event that Day 9 did called like Trials of the Zelmaga, something along those lines. Which it's seriously like a 2010 or 2011 event. Not a lot of people are gonna know this one, but same deal. The Day 9's casting, and like he'd be like, dude, I'm gonna nuke this guy's base, and he's like observing. He's not playing, but he's observing, and he'd click something, and the guy's base gets nuked, right? So this obviously, yeah, this throws the competitive bit of the game out the window in terms of like just being silly and having fun. It's kind of like playing Smash Brothers with items on or something like that. Like it's fun, it's hilarious, but it's sort of like the observers screwing with the players who are trying their damn hardest to win. Now the base trade event was something like they were like, if we can get X dollars towards this player, because it was like they'd have like Scarlet, I think was playing, like give Scarlet's units a buff or something. So that was in the video you can see me. I'll link it one more time because I keep there's chat's moving a bit. But in this video you'll see me like put some Marines on the map. So one of the mods things is you could put some units on the map in the game and then like change their weapon stats or change what weapon it's holding. Like you can give a Marine the Stalker weapon just because. So like StarCraft 2 is way more flexible in terms of just screwing with it. Like a Brood War, you have to go crazy with the exploits to even change a weapon on something, but StarCraft is very easy to do all this. So I thought it was I had a lot of fun just going crazy, letting you change all this stuff. You can also just drop nukes on the map like Day 9 in that one event. Now we only did this event once, and I'm kind of bummed. Like the hours I put on this thing compared to how much it was ever used is kind of sad. But it's very fun to just play with. Like if one of the things I tried to pitch it to for people to get into as well is like the unit tester. Ravi has made a ton of really, really cool videos using the unit tester, or other people have too. Like the unit tester in StarCraft 2 is sick, and there's a lot of cool stuff you can do with it, but you can't do this. You can't see like what if a Marine moved a little faster? Like what does that actually look like in my game without me having to know the map editor? So this was kind of a cool way to do map editor stuff and also not have to learn the map editor, which is a pain in the ass. So
Where can people find this?
thank you. The mod, it's an extension mod. So you have to go to custom games in StarCraft and then click melee and then click your map. And then finally, there's a button that says create with extension mod. And you'll be able to search for my mod, which is called Joey Trials, which is a reference to Day 9 Trials of the Xel'Naga. So Joey, my name Trials, Joey Trials, one word, no spaces. And that's it. That's it. You can mess with it. Go crazy. Winter actually, he demoed it on his stream a bit and he had a great time, he said, in his chat, enjoyed it. So if you are a Winter fan, you might have seen it there too. Besides that, those are the two like big ass projects I did that I love to share because they're just fun. Like it's fun. The map editor is fun, man. I love laddering. I love playing StarCraft 2, but like I am not a pro gamer and I cannot do 8 hours of just getting my ass beat over it. And so when I get a little burnout on the game, the editor is actually a really cool way to like keep playing, but you're doing like other cool StarCraft stuff. So that's kind of like where I come from in general. I could really like I've done a bunch of little small projects. I've done map intros for Rob. Map intros, I've actually been hired by a bunch of different tournament organizers throughout to do those. That's sort of another claim to fame. The video editing, I wanted to talk about like some tricks for video editing. I actually was thinking about doing a series for other StarCraft content creators, and it would be titled something like how to make StarCraft content that isn't terrible or something like that, right? but and like it's kind of like a shitty, like funny way, to phrase it. But basically I feel like I have some tricks up my sleeve for getting views on a video or whatever. Like I've been doing this a while and like I've had some success, right? So I know some video editing tricks. One of them that I've been playing with not in all my videos, but like some of them recently is just to use a green screen like in the game. So you can make the background and terrain all green. And then you can just have like a zealot or marine moving around. And you record that. And then in your video, you green screen it out and you can do stuff with it. So I could have like a marine walk across the screen. And as he walks, like the words of the video would like be on the left side of the marine as he walks from right to left, if that makes sense. So he would be just stuff like that. So green screen is a cool way to play with your videos. You can do a green screen in Brood War 2, but you have to edit the tile data. That's fun. I don't know, man. What's a video that you thought was funny that I made? And I can tell you how I made it.
Dude, the warp prism killing everything was the funniest thing, where it was just spinning like a disco ball and just killed everything.
Yeah. So
I
yeah,
loved it.
I had a lot of fun with spinning units, and I actually did 2 videos with the spinning units. I did a fidget spinner mothership. I was really happy with that one. and then the more recently the Prism. Yeah. So basically that's all done in the StarCraft 2 editor. You could the scripting in the StarCraft 2 is really cool because you can do so much shit compared to Brood War. So you basically just, there's a thing that says like turn the unit, and then I would just, add 15 to the angle every few seconds and turn it, and that makes it spin really fast, and that's it. So that kind of stuff is really easy. If you don't have any experience at all scripting or programming or anything, I think StarCraft's a really good way to learn, man. Because like I was 12, 13 years old, and I didn't know shit. I didn't know anything. And just like a little kid me on forums or chat rooms or whatever, like I would learn from the big boys how to do this, and now I have a full-time job doing IT stuff. Like it's a great way to learn real valuable computer skills. Just like playing with the editor, playing with scripting stuff. Anyway, to get back on topic, yeah, the spinning stuff is fun, but it's easy. Another thing that was cool in those videos is like the flashing RGB colors or like the RGB lasers. That's easy too. StarCraft 2 will just let you change the color of stuff. So
Oh,
like
you're doing that in StarCraft, not in the video editor?
No, yeah. So the
Oh.
RGB units, like the units changing all the colors, their lasers or colors, or the void ray shooting the meme laser that's huge and flashing colors. That's all done in StarCraft.
Oh.
I do a lot of my video effects in the game because like it's just better or easier or whatever. But yeah, so to do that technically, there's a message you can send to units that says like change your color. And you can just change it to whatever. So that's like the Dorito cannon, the cheese cannon or whatever. When that hits your units, it just says change these units, all these units in a circle to orange. Like that's what the game is doing. And you can do all kinds of fancy stuff. So of course, to make it like meme, funny, silly, you make them flash red, green, blue like really fast, and it just looks ridiculous. So, good shit, man. I don't know. Like, there's so much fun stuff you could do. The June balance update video is definitely a proud achievement.
Good lord.
I had fun with that one. But yeah, like I'm actually really, really thrilled. I must say, like people are still contacting me, especially just recently to do some stuff. And I'm just like, it's so cool. Like I feel kind of honored, people are still contacting me because I've had a bit of a slow year or like a while. Like I've just been working. I haven't been able to post as much. So the fact that people are still hitting me up and that people like this silly shit that I managed to do with the editor and stuff, like I gotta say, God bless you guys and thanks. Like I'm just really happy people are still into that. Yeah, that's all I got.
All right. Anything else you guys want to bring up before we go into Patreon questions? This has been very cool. Like I have learned quite a bit. You guys kind of got me excited about everything. I don't know. I want new map angles. I want to know on the replays whether I won or lost. MasterRey. It's so impossible though. Blizzard, why?
It's coming. It's coming.
I want to get pinged.
Is it coming?
Yeah, for your own replay, like autosave folder, it will come because then I can know. Okay, yes, I have 20k replays and 19k of those replays are in the replay folder, and they are all by the same guy, all the same player is in that. So in that case, I can say, yeah, okay, it's actually this guy who saved this replay. So if there's no command that the player left the game, that means okay, that's the lost game for him.
Yeah.
So that's coming for the auto replay folder.
Nice.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
I had one
For
last
the
question.
past
While
10 to
I have
12
this one.
years, my mind.
So did you watch Artosis Love StarCraft? You watched the first one? And you watch the second one?
Me?
I watched the second.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I did watch both. Yeah.
You did? What did you think?
They're funny. Yeah. I like that. I like them. They're funny.
I just wanted to get your
I'm a
impressions,
clown, man, but at least I'm real, right?
Hold on, Joey.
I-
That's not the real hard hitting question, right?
What?
Dan,
Yeah.
what do your kids think of those videos?
Oh my god.
My kids aren't going to see those videos until they're teenagers, for sure.
naughty languages. All right, cool, man. Thank you. I just, while we're here, everyone know. I would just want to get your first impression.
Oh yeah, they're hilarious. They're hilarious.
Cool, man. Thank you. Because I'll feel just a little bad a little bit because it's like a little
Oh, you
little
don't get
teasing.
I do it all
But
to my man. It's like I deserve everything that ever happens to me.
yeah,
That's for sure.
it's out of love, dude. I watch your stream so much. It's
Oh,
good
thank
stuff.
you. Thank you.
That's it. That's all the last thing I wanted
Can
to ask.
so I had like a list of random things that I think were worth just like
Yeah,
really quickly shouting out of like tools and stuff.
sure.
And a lot
yeah,
of these are
please.
also friendly if you are like watching the show because you're also a developer and you want to get involved. Because I've had so many people that message me and are like, "Hey, I'm a web developer. Oh, I'm a backend developer. Like, I want to help you with this project." And I'm like, "No." But there's a bunch of other stuff you could do. Like SC2 Unmasked, for example, is a really awesome website that a lot of people know about. So in StarCraft 2, it like literally is just a website that gathers all the random information about the StarCraft ladder, and it tells you like, oh, this barcode is Beyond, and this barcode's Innovation, and this barcode's Hero Marine and stuff. A lot of people don't know it also includes a constantly updating, like, here are recent matches that were played. So you can go to see like, oh, here are all the recent matches that happened over 5,000 MMR on the EU ladder. And you can just go see. And you can go click on like particular maps and stuff, and it'll just be like, for the entire EU ladder above X MMR that you enter, this is the win rate on Eternal Empire for every single one of the matchups and stuff for the ladder. So there's like a bunch of information and stuff available from there. Ranked for the Win has like really cool stuff as well. Legulac, I think a lot of people know, it's like constantly updating tournament results and stuff. They have a great API as well. Spawning Tools are really cool system as well for like build orders and all that kind of stuff. SC2 replay stats is kind of like what MasterRey does, but for StarCraft 2. And I don't think that they have to do as much work to get the information as poor MasterRey.
No.
But yeah,
I wanted to shout out SC2 replay stats too.
Yeah.
If you
No,
haven't played,
for the
if you never used
past
it,
10
check
to
it out.
12
It's really sick.
years,
What's even cool,
Yeah.
like super cool, is that they actually do like replay analysis, and they use some of that analysis, and they will like tell you, hey, one of the things that you probably should be working on is like your probe production, or like, oh, like you got supply blocked a lot, or like, so it gives you like actual advice on how to improve at the game, especially if you're like below masters and stuff. So that's really cool. SCE Lite is another like really awesome replay analysis parser, which actually might be a little bit closer to what MasterRey has done.
Yeah, totally.
There's the Legacy of the Void unit tester that I think actually I'm probably just gonna replace with Joey's stuff.
Yeah, the
I
unit
think Joey's stuff
tester
is
is more polished, but mine's more.
Yeah.
There's more stuff to play.
Yeah,
with.
more power.
More knobs turn.
Yeah. I think you already talked about you talked about your camera mod, but you didn't talk about, you actually have like a bunch of other random mods and arcade
I do.
maps.
I
Joey,
like have all
you have an
this
Oracle
little
micro map, so you can literally just practice Oracle micro, which I think
Yeah.
is super cool.
That's a thing.
Yeah, there's like a bunch of really cool stuff. There's one other one that I did want to shout out for anyone that's a developer, because I recently encountered this. There is something called libvoxelbot, and this seems so cool. The basic idea is they made a like a deep learning AI that you can say like there are 14 Marines and 12 Marauders versus like 8 Stalkers or something, and it'll simulate the battle, and it gets really, really close to just being able to predict what the outcome would be. And it can do like thousands of simulations a second. So I'm waiting for someone to go into replays and say like, hey, if you had just fought at this point in the game, you might have just killed them. And just like give
that's a
you
cool
those
idea.
little,
Yeah.
like that kind of, like there's a bunch of really
Yeah,
cool,
nice.
powerful things. Like if you want to get involved in development, if you're interested in all that stuff, there's so much stuff you can do right now. Anyways,
Yes.
end speech.
You got me super sidetracked on those videos. You seen those videos that are like 1 Ultralist versus 2 million probes, right? Have
Yeah.
you seen those?
Yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
Yeah.
What is going on? What is going on? Like, how do these videos have so many hits? I can't believe that
Dude,
people
that's
will just
YouTube.
sit- What
That's
the
YouTube
fuck?
right there.
It's
People
like-
don't like quality on YouTube. They
Dude,
like
what?
garbage.
Yeah.
It's literally like a 5 FPS video. Like the game is choking like shit. If you've never seen this, and it's like a million. Imagine what happens if you put a million probes on the map, and then Ultralist will just be like, and then it clicks, and then there's 10 probes. I don't know. It just blows my mind that like that those
I
exist.
want to be judgy, but when StarCraft 2 was in beta, some of the videos I still remember the most distinctly was when Husky would just be like 5 Archons versus 8 Ultralisks. It'd just be like random pairings. They'd be like, and they fight. And I'm like, cool. I think I just gave them ad revenue for watching literally just come units fight in the game with no micro.
I got a when I was managing Base Trades YouTube, I got a copyright claim for like a probe scouting on Frost. It was just like going into the base and scout like that video footage has probably been uploaded plenty of times on YouTube. And they're like, yeah, that's copyrighted footage. We own that. The scouting probe on Frost. It was like from Red
Wow.
Bull Gaming. But I actually since it was Mr. Bitter was doing Red Bull stuff, we got it resolved like right away. So that's cool.
Yeah.
You just reminded me though.
MasterRey, I felt like you were trying to say something before Ravi's.
Oh, sorry.
So some websites were mentioned for StarCraft 2. I just want to do a little shout out. I have nothing to do with that, but there's also a great website for Brood War. If you like want to improve a certain aspect of your game, you can check out the website broodwall.com. So broodwall, like a wall, and that's the website where you can just enter any map that you can play, and it will show you a picture of the map, and you can click on the starting position, and it will show you the perfect wall on that position on your ramp or even in your
Whoa.
natural for
This
any
is
raid.
sick.
So this is a super
This
site.
is really sick. I'm looking at it right now.
Oh.
Yeah, and
Yeah, this is awesome.
like whenever you have those games where, for example, you're a Terran, you build your racks and your depots at your ramp, and the Zerglings are coming in and kill you, and you just lost 25 MMR in a few seconds. Then you check out that website and see what the perfect wall is, and it never happens again. So I just
This is
wanted to
awesome.
give a quick shout out to that website. It's really cool. I like.
This would have saved me so much time. I spent a whole day just going into maps and making walls over and over and trying to figure
Yeah.
Oh
out.
my god.
Yeah.
It's so nice. Yeah.
This is how I can learn how to cannon rush.
Yeah, it might be actually. They might
This is
have it.
actually.
Oh my god, this is perfect.
This is awesome. This is kind of what I was talking about earlier. Just like there's so many tools out there for Brood War. It's amazing.
Super sick. Now I'm just sitting here clicking. I'm like, hold on, guys. I gotta check the walls
busy
right now. That's Zergling type crazy.
Yeah, you have these little pictures that tells you if it's Zergling tight or Delete tight, for example. So it's
Yeah.
really nice.
Oh, that's awesome.
Broodwall.com.
Yeah. Broodwall.com. I
That's awesome.
did not know about this site, but thank you very much for it. Anything else, guys, before Patreon questions? All right. You know, let's jump into our Patreon questions then. This has been a great chat, by the way. I've learned a lot as always. This is great. But yeah, we'll go over to our Patreon questions, guys. You still have some time to drop some questions for these wonderful men. Check out thepylonshow.com to drop your question off if you're a Patreon. All right. Priority Patreon. Here we go. First question up. Lightning Lynn asks, I'm facing a problem with my gameplay. My favorite game actually begins after the match when I pick up my drawing board and pencil to sketch the units and fights that I just experienced in game. But sometimes my best drawings are made after I lost a big match. What should I do?
Who's going to answer?
So if I'm
trying to
understanding
understand
this
it.
correctly, this guy is kind of like an artist and draws things after the game, but the better pictures come from losing. That sounds like a win-win to me. That sounds amazing. Where like if you win, you're like, sick, I just won. And then if you lose, you're like, art.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, it
I
sounds like a
see.
really healthy. This is a very healthy way to deal with your losses.
They're saying their issue is that they're sketching while the game is happening, and when they sketch and they put time into sketching while the game is happening, they lose because they're not playing the game.
Oh. Okay.
Um,
Trolling me. Okay, I get.
I don't think it's a troll, man. I think it's a very serious question.
It might be.
it's so hard to tell.
It is. Lightning Lynn asks us questions every single week, so thank you, Lightning Lynn. Stop sketching if you want to win, and I mean, if you like the pictures, and that's cool. Do that. It's just be yourself. And if you die to a cannon rush that has no micro involved, you might be playing Rubby without his hands. So
there you go.
yeah, good at sketches.
Even playing field.
Yeah. Thanks for the
Oh,
question, man. All right, Shampoo McTavish asks, DeepMind's ChessBot Alpha Zero has influenced top-level chess in subtle but significant ways. Has AlphaStar influenced the StarCraft 2 pro scene in any substantial way? Also, can we expect more stuff from DeepMind in the future? It would be a shame if we never get to see more from such a big investment. From the stuff that I know, I don't think we're really going to see too much new stuff out of AlphaStar. I know that they made a bunch of their stuff public so that people could use a lot of their research. So we might see other people utilize that. If I'm not mistaken on those plans, I don't speak for them or anything, but I think it was something to that degree. As far as influencing the pro scene, I think that uh, the Protoss AlphaStar, I wish that we could have had it play another 200 games on the ladder because it did not max out its MMR. It had a ridiculously high win rate. It was playing completely different from everyone. It taught me some concepts about the game. And I've tried to talk about this with some pros, and people are pretty negative on it generally, which is like I find it to be like a little bit weird to be negative about this because it's just an interesting like to have an AI think about the game in such a different way. I think it's just fascinating, and of course, you should be able to learn from that. It's like, you know, the you talk about beginner's mind or something. Well, this is like alien mind, right? It's like alien beginner's mind. It's not like this bot has any sort of ego or anything. So I think that there are things that are conceptually really interesting. I made a YouTube series of the match it played against Cyril and pointed out some of these things about when to add Archons, the power of disruptors. It made me think about disruptors very differently as a supply efficient unit for Protoss, the same way that you might think about Banelings. It made me think a lot about when Protoss is stepping on creep, how many cannons are appropriate. I went over a lot of that within the videos on my YouTube. You can just there's like a playlist of the games against Cyril, but yeah, I think that there is a lot of information there that's useful, but the game gets patched a lot more than like StarCraft 1, let's say. So I think it's uh, harder for people to take seriously the games that it played, and I think that that's a mistake, and people could learn a lot. What do you guys have any thoughts on that?
I super agree with everything you said. First of all, yeah, I have a lot of thoughts actually. Well, first, yeah, what the DeepMind team did, what they accomplished is incredible. Like, it is amazing that they got a bot that high on the ladder and is kicking programmers' ass. That is an achievement. Just want to emphasize that because that's sick. So, what can we learn from it? I think immediately everyone started talking about the probe thing, the 24 probes on the main. So even if no one, even if that wasn't exactly brand new, you know, like people have done that, but it got people talking, right? So people were talking about that, like that it brought that up, which is like a program did that, right? So that's pretty crazy. I feel like people were quick to try and say it's bullshit. Like, people were trying to call bullshit on it really quick, which is easy to do when it displayed that ridiculous stalker micro that one time, that one game. But every other game, like, I saw a lot of AlphaStar games, and for the most part, like, it was hard to fault. Like, it didn't look inhuman. It looked amazing, really. Like, especially if you didn't catch the presentation they did at BlizzCon recently, this last BlizzCon, it was really cool. So I feel like it's something else, but yeah, those are my general thoughts on, like, it's just really impressive. Oh yeah, I also think it's a huge bummer because I don't know what they're gonna do in the future, like if they have any plans or what they're gonna do. But like, that makes me sad because at BlizzCon, there was a chance to play AlphaStar, and I loved it. Like, I really liked it.
It was cool.
Yeah. So the fact that that's just kind of gone, like, there was something that existed, there was a feature that just doesn't exist anymore, being able to play versus that bot, even if it was a chance on Master League ladder on EU, which it used to be. Like, that was super exciting. So I do relate to how disappointing you might feel, you know, people who feel disappointed about that, because yeah, like, I really, really hope they come back and give us some more, because it's really cool.
So I pretty much agree with what you guys said for the second part of the question. For the first part and what Joey was just talking about, while I was at BlizzCon, I tried to talk a lot with the devs. And again, similar to Dan, I don't speak for them. but this is just the impression that I got and like kind of what they've told me, which was in that kind of very casual sense. I don't take anything that they say is super official, but they didn't really have plans to do anything else. And one really interesting tidbit is like even for the BlizzCon thing, they had to have local Google servers running the DeepMind's like AI bots and everything at like a very close area to BlizzCon in order to make that work. And if you think about like yes, DeepMind did have that whole opt-in thing on the European ladder, but in actuality, it didn't play like as far as I saw, or at least from what people figured out, I didn't see like tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of games that it played versus people. I think that people found like a few hundred, maybe.
Right.
It played like the best bot played 30 games with each race.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like I think one thing that seems pretty clear is that it's not as simple as just like we'll just make it like an elite AI and you could just play it. Like I think that they had a whole infrastructure, and from a technology standpoint, they said that the Google or the DeepMind team said that they relied on a lot of internal Google technology, so they can't just like here's my thing and let me just go put it on the Blizzard servers. Like I don't think it works that way, or like they can't just be like and here you can play it on your computer. So I think that's a lot of the problems of why they're not doing more. That plus, like you said, Dan, it was played on the previous patch. And the reason it was played on the previous patch is because every single time the game gets updated, you have to restart all the learning. So it's like a huge like upswing of time that it has to relearn everything. So even if they released it, it's like you could only play it on that old patch. And there's all these technical. I kind of understand why they're not doing it. It still sucks, but I think that's a lot of the reason why we don't see anything else with it.
Yeah, you brought up two important things. One, it's super expensive. Like, didn't it cost like many thousands of dollars to do this project, right? To run DeepMind, make DeepMind. So one, it's super expensive. Two, I guess that's it. I guess it's like it just costs money. So like that's probably the biggest barrier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It was cool. A couple things I thought of while you guys were talking about that. Also, let's not forget, it's Zerg created a build that was so strong that Zhugliang beat higher level pros like Lambo with it, and then Cyril used it against Raynor in the finals of Home Story Cup. That's how strong the build is that Alpha Star Zerg invented for Zerg vs. Zerg. Also, it was using Phoenixes in a very different way, where it was sniping units with Phoenixes. Like it would just make like 2 to lift up 2 immortals, and that's all they did in the whole game.
Dude, the micro it had was so sick. Like that was you were expecting that and you knew it was coming, but when to see it happen, yeah, the Phoenix lifts on that thing on Alpha Star is unreal. Its micro in general is just incredible.
Yeah. It was I think one of the most exciting things that we've ever had happen in gaming.
Definitely.
It was so cool. And I mean, I hope more stuff pops up, but we'll see, I guess.
The other thing I wanted to actually also mention is that you kind of touched on this, Dan. They released a bunch of stuff related to the Alpha Star, and Blizzard had, even before the full Alpha Star stuff was released, they released the whole toolkit for making a like deep learning SC2 AI.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So while I don't think it'll hit quite Alpha Star levels, anyone who's a developer can actually go play with that and make a deep learning StarCraft 2 AI. And if you want, the only thing is you don't probably have the resources that the DeepMind and like Google team did. So you probably can't run like thousands of servers playing StarCraft 2 games all the time. But like, I don't know, it'd be cool if the community came together and made something happen to like train an AI basically.
We got to shout out the Probots guys. There's a community of people who do make StarCraft using this stuff. So like shout out, those guys are doing really cool stuff. They're out there and they're and like I think ESC Champ, right? Drek and stuff.
Yeah.
That's where you can go check out a lot of this if you're into the bot.
2 bots, that's it.
Yeah,
right there.
really good stuff.
And Chanel.com, I think it is, for the Brood War bots.
Yeah,
So.
for Brood War.
SCH Chanel.
Cool. Thank you for the question there, Shampoo McTavish. That was Blackfoss asks, Artosis, how do you determine whether you can't go mech or bio on a StarCraft remastered map? Basic knowledge gained experience through playing, or is it map layout / design? Okay, so I assume you're talking about Terran versus Zerg in Brood War, because that's like the only matchup where you can choose between Bio or Mech. Bio is an all-in against Protoss and doesn't exist against Terran. But yeah, the way that you can decide, you can go Mech on any map. It's kind of like robust in the mid game, I guess. Yeah, it's like robust against Mutalisk harassment. The way that you decide if you can go bio has to do with the shape of the main base generally, and sometimes the natural, and how easy or hard it is to defend against Mutalisk harassment. So, for instance, if you look at the map Whiteout at 6 o'clock, you literally, even if you keep all your bio in your main and build nothing but turrets, you can't hold off the mutas because there's too much surface area they can fly around. So you go mech from 6 o'clock. On the ladder right now, New Bloody Ridge. It's not a good map for bio. So you have to go either mech or, rush to Valkyries or Science Vessels or something, because the natural sticks so out to the side that Mutalisks just have a hilarious time killing your SCVs. So you're kind of looking at what Mutalisks can do and if you can reasonably defend against them for the most part. That's what generally you'll get forced into non-marine openers on some maps. So I hope that answers your question. SC2 guess. My teammate confuses me every time. Have you ever heard the term off-gate/off racks? Do you know other strange and uncommonly used terms? Off-gate or offensive gate.
Oh,
Yeah, that would make more sense.
yeah.
We normally call it like proxy.
Yeah.
Proxy gate.
I've heard off gates and off racks myself. Yeah, usually the normal word is proxy, I would say.
Yeah.
That's a weird
Pretty
one.
But I've heard it.
Yeah. I was
That
like, what
makes
else is
sense.
that?
I hadn't heard
Like,
it, but it totally makes sense.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for the questions, man. All right. Nactcap asks, the lizard people banned rock, paper, scissors. No such game equals no e-games equals no e-gamers equals potential lizard people John Connor. You have been tasked with creating an e-gamer based replacement due to the risk to their designs. First place is a lizard people tinfoil hat. Which guess replacement wins? So I believe he's trying to get us to make a rock, paper, scissors. How about Terran Protoss Zerg?
Which one's rock? Protoss?
Protoss is rock. And then
Terran is rock.
Terran is paper, because you can throw the rock through the paper and you can cut the paper with the Zerg scissors.
But you see, Dan, here's the thing. I'm going to get the correct answer because I was the kid that read through the entire question and didn't just stop paying attention toward, in the middle. Which guess replacement wins. So you don't actually have to name the replacement. So I'm just going to say that Artosis' replacement wins because all of us were too dumbfounded to create a replacement.
Well, there you go. Thank you for that technicality.
Got him.
Got him. Nactcap, thanks for your question, man. Give me my lizard people tinfoil hat. Mail it to the studio. Sergeant Beleno asks, for everyone, I asked this on Artosis' stream a couple weeks back, but why do you think 4-player maps are not as common in StarCraft 2 as they are in Brood War? Also, will there be a future where we get to see StarCraft 2 pros deal with a 3-player map, and why will it never happen? What do you guys think about that?
Well, the very obvious thing that immediately comes to mind, right, is the random when you're verse Protoss, or when you're Protoss and you're verse random on a 4-player map, you can get a little unlucky. There's a little bit of luck involved if they're a random as Zerg.
That exists in StarCraft. MasterRey, aren't you a Protoss player?
Yes.
Yeah, see, if you play against random and they get Zerg, aren't you screwed?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm building my pylon in my main, and I cry to myself because he's Zerg. Which happens 90% of the randoms, by the way.
If you just learn how to cannon rush versus every race, then cannon rush is a viable opening versus all races. And for the 4-player map thing, I just send 3 what I use when I cannon rush on old maps with 4 players, I would just send 3 probes out.
It sounds so terrible. Oh my God.
Yeah, but here's the thing, no one expects it, so it still works.
That's for sure. No one expects that.
Yeah. That's the go-to thing, but like there are other problems with 4-player maps. Like I remember kind of famously or infamously, it was a finals of some tournament. It was a pretty big tournament. I want to say it was like Maru versus Life or something, like a big TVZ, and it was like they both spawned on the bottom of the map, and they were fighting like horizontally across the bottom the whole time, and the whole top half of the map kind of was just not really relevant. So spawn positions can be an issue, but Blizzard has done things to like force maps to spawn diagonally, so maybe not so much an issue in SC2. The big go-to one everyone points out though is random Zerg versus Protoss.
Can I give my reasoning of why I think it stopped happening? Because we used to have it.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, we did used to
because
have it.
we had one map pool where Blizzard happened to only have 2-player maps, and I don't even. My guess is that it was not even 150% intentional. And all the pro players were like, "This is the best thing ever." And ever since then, they just complained so hard that if they ever try and introduce any other maps that don't have 2-player spawns, they have to shut it down basically immediately. And I think it's just actually that. I think it's like a mentality thing. And for 3-player maps, Joey probably knows a bit more about this, but with a map editor, there's a way that you like basically you make half of the map. You never actually make two, unless it's like Purity and Industry, which I think was specifically done this like each side. But you basically only make half of a map, and then there's a tool in the map editor that just mirrors it so that it's exactly the same. So there's no way to do that like with 3-player symmetry.
Yeah, there's a symmetry tool in the editor, so you just like turn it on, and like you'll click on one side of the map, and it mirrors that click on the side of the map. So you'll design half, and like the other half, you just made it because you did both sides at the same time, literally as you did it. But it's actually a pain in the ass. Secondly, I am actually a pretty noob melee map maker, so I can't really speak too much on this tool and stuff. And three, another fun fact is like Brood War had no symmetry tool. There was just nothing. There was nothing in there. The guys are doing it by hand. So like Fighting Spirit, all these classic symmetrical Brood War maps, they were done by hand. Pretty sick.
What Joey is trying to say is that StarCraft 2 map editors are actually just lazy.
Not really, dude. It's actually so hard. It is so hard.
Just kidding.
But to do either, I've never been a terrain guy. Like doing terrain is its own art form.
Yeah,
and
you're a
those
Zerg
guys-
player, right?
Me?
Yeah, you're not a Terran player?
It's the opposite. I play Terran
You're not
and
a
I play
terrain? Never mind.
Oh, please fucking stop. I hate you so much.
That's our big block of ice with a fan blowing at it, man. Damn.
Oh my god, Ravi.
I would like to see a 3-player map, though. I mean,
Yeah.
if you just made it in the editor, I think in Brood War, MasterRey, I don't know your opinion, but I think the 3-player maps that we get, if they're good, like Sylphid, they're just so exciting because like that asymmetry, you can't really cut the map, so it's like more battles. I feel like I'm fighting on those maps.
Yeah, I love it. Like it's like both players are fighting for that third position, and it's not just hey, I will take my half, you take your half, and then we fight in 1 hour. Yeah, I really like 3-player maps. Yeah, they're
I'd like
great.
to see it. I can't remember any 3-player maps really in StarCraft 2, but
that's what I was gonna ask.
Catalina.
Oh, StarCraft 2? Yeah, we had
merry-go-rounds,
That map was
Catalina.
a good 3-player map.
It was a problem because it had literally like the entire surface of your main base was both Reaper accessible and Blink Stalker accessible.
Yeah.
I remember the air blockers did weird things along it too.
Well, thank you for the question, Sergeant Plano. I, for one, hope that we see some sort of variance in that. I don't know. More fun for us to watch, not for the pro gamers to play, though. All right. Red Gunner Guy asks, why does every map have Overlord spots? Back then and now, is it not effectively free scouting? What if it is moved far away? Would you prefer maps without it or with some compromise? I think it's a balance thing for the Overlord scouting because like this actually exists even in Brood War. If there's not a place for you to put your Overlord where it can spot the Terran move out, or in StarCraft 2 spot, like for instance, if have a way to check if Protoss took gases at the natural, let's say, right? These types of things, I think it becomes very unbalanced very quickly. Like I know for a fact there was there's occasionally there'll be a map where there's not an overlord spot in StarCraft 1. And I will kill Zergs 60% of the time for free because they don't see the move out coming in time. Like they need something there to see it.
Yeah, that's exactly
yeah,
exactly it. There's really nothing else to it. Like it's just part of the game design. Like there have been maps without it, and there are maps without the spots or less, or they're just like not as convenient. They don't give you as good vision. And yeah, they're like, you're touching on a thing that's like, why do we do the things that we do when we make maps? Like why is there always a ramp that's 3 hexes wide tier natural in every map? Because like the game gets kind of built around stuff like that. Like you got to be able to force field your main. You got to be able to hide an OV and get some vision. If you don't, like some stuff just starts to fall apart or balance gets changed.
Yeah.
What if we made it, but we also put like a super duper vulnerable Zalnaga watchtower somewhere on the map that just gives you high ground vision of the Overlord? So you have to send out like Marines super early on at a vulnerable point where the Zerg player could just flood lings and go kill them to get vision, but also have Marines back at home. I'm memeing.
I like this idea of like you have like a Zelnaga where like you go get it and then it shows
Yeah.
you the opponent's gases, for instance.
I actually
That's
have
not a
thought,
bad idea.
I've actually thought that like having Zelnaga watchtowers that give you vision of a different area than like right next to the Zelnaga would
Yeah.
actually be really cool.
That could
Totally.
be cool. I like the idea.
The design of the maps, I mean, obviously this is not news, but like it's changed so much, man. You ever go back and just look at Metalopolis or something, or do you remember playing on Metalopolis? Like your mains are divided, like there's this much space between your 2 mains, and then like
A
half the
Reaper
game,
can almost jump it. It's like this close.
and then like half the game revolves around that Zelnaga tower in the middle.
Yeah.
And that's what when you brought the Zelnaga tower, it just reminded me about that map. And then like you'll notice we don't really use Zelnaga as much these days. They're not really in as many maps, which I kind of like personally. But like, yeah, it's just interesting. Over the years, things have changed so much.
Indeed. Good question. Thank you for the question, Red Gunner guy. Moving on. Broodwiser asks, I've been banned in Artosis Twitch chat for a long time. No idea why. I've been a Patreon for 19 months. Can someone check why I'm banned? Thanks. Love the show. Broodwiser, I am so sorry. We will unban you. I have no idea. I have a lot of mods. It looks like Cobra already got you. So sorry about that. Thank you so much for all of your support on the show. And welcome back to being a guy in the chat. Sorry.
I can't wait for Cobra to like go through the chat log history and it's like, oh, that's why you were banned.
God,
I'm not gonna lie.
I don't want him to do that. I don't want him to find out that I was being a baby after I lost a game. I'm just like, I'm gonna ban people now.
It was actually so long ago. There's no logs for this chat user, so I don't know.
Really?
Yeah.
Weird.
Can you do that? I'm not gonna lie. Like I will not often, but like every now and then I'll be watching Artosis stream and I'll just randomly get a whisper, like a little message, and a guy's like, "Dude, can you please unban me? Like I don't deserve to be banned."
Dude, that's why I unmod myself from every channel. I'm not modded in any channel.
And like a lot of times, like
modded, actually,
I feel bad.
I'm not.
But it's not my place to to do that.
Actually,
so,
for people that want to be unbanned from my chat, just ask me when I'm in a good mood.
Yeah, that's the recommendation. Is just
because if I'm in a bad mood, actually, someone asked G5 to ask me to unban him the other day, and I was in a bad mood. I'm like, no, fuck that guy. I feel bad now. Damn, I'm a bad person. Sorry, guys. There we go.
Nope.
Damn, me and feardragon are gonna have a little battle getting him to be mod on my channel. Guys, if you want to be unbanned, just message feardragon and he'll take care of it. Okay, thanks for the question, Broodwiser, and you are unbanned. Sorry about that. Sate0 asks, Flash switched to random.
Yes, I'm excited for this.
I want a full-on Dan Nerd Rage reaction to the news. The kind of stuff you would say on your stream if you played versus a random player. I want you to cast your hero to the side. Be ruthless about it. Which pro would you want to do this next after Flash? Okay, so I don't have anything negative to say about Flash, so I'm so sorry about that I cannot do that. But I think that Flash switching to random is very cool because it will actually create a proper metagame that has random involved. Because right now, all all random is this joke on the ladder where it fucks everything up, and the guy that plays random cheeses, and you're just like, this game wasn't even real. You know, this was stupid. I mean, you know, every week someone fucking 4-pools me as random or something. It's just like, yeah, that's okay, cool. Wow. I had to get gas because I don't know what race you are. But with Flash doing it in a professional setting, this should actually teach random players how to play and people how to play against that. Like, it'll start to actually show the way it should go. I think it's going to be very interesting because he's the greatest ever, and everyone knows it, and everyone agrees it has nothing to do with the Terran race, to see what he can do with the random race. And the thing is, he's so good with the other races. People are talking like, oh, I don't know if you'll get that far. I'm like, hold my beer, tasteless. He's gonna fucking probably win the tournament, okay? Because he's already like, his Protoss has been at the top of the ladder, and I've seen him win macro games in Zerg versus Protoss. So you put that all together in the random advantage, and the thing is, Flash is just smarter than everyone. So it's like, I could see him actually winning and just it becoming this hilarious thing where it's like, wow, this guy's just a better human than all of us.
Man,
Yeah,
I watched
you guys have
Flash.
thoughts on this?
Yeah, I watched Flash take out this Zerg player recently, like 1 volt. He would just
Oh.
like rally in a vulture and kill some stuff, and he did this just for like 10 vultures, just
Yeah.
one at a time. Like, and I've been watching Brutal for a while, but like this just happened the other week, and you know, it's like 10 years of me being a fan or whatever, and I'm watching this and I'm like, dude, this guy is just on another level, man. I couldn't believe it, and I already know how good he is. So yeah, like when I saw this news about Flash personally, I was like, oh, my first reaction was like, oh, whatever. So he's doing something for his YouTube channel, cool. And then like I came back to the thread the next day, and like everyone's talking about it, and I'm like, wait, he's really doing this? Like, he's really switching to random? He's gonna compete? It's not some kind of joke? And then I realized, like, yeah, it's actually a really big deal, because like Artosis said, it's a joke right now, and it is until like we get some of these games. And also like Flash is just hype, man. I want to see his games. I want to see what he can do. So
Yeah.
it's exciting.
Yeah.
It's just exciting. It brings a little bit of freshness to everything. Yeah.
I'm really excited as well. I think it's great. And but what I'm wondering is if he's officially announcing it, that he's actually competing in random. That, to me, that means that he already talked to Afrika, that there are no like rules in place to avoid random playing. So it should be possible. But I remember, not sure in which game it was or in what time span, but there was always a lot of discussion about random being bad for the game, because it adds a little bit of luck factor in the game. So it's not as skill based anymore, and more games will be just like, yeah, okay, he just won that because he had luck with his random, for example, or bad luck for the other guy. So I'm really interested in how much backlash it's generating when he's actually doing it in ASL. So, but I'm really excited anyways. But it will be interesting how it develops.
Yeah,
That's
it's
a
going to be
good
interesting
point.
no matter what happens, whether he bombs out or wrecks or does something in between. It's like everyone's going to be watching that to see what
Yeah.
that looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is exciting.
I only have one thought, and that's that, Joey, I hope you clip that first part where Artosis is talking about this, so that in 11 months, when you release Artosis Loves
Did he say he
StarCraft
likes
Part 3,
StarCraft?
there's gonna be like a little segment where Artosis is like, and now that Flash is playing random is gonna be a legitimate race. Cuts to all of the games that Artosis plays versus random players.
Legitimate.
Fucking
I said
bullshit
it's gonna
random.
develop an actual legitimate metagame of some sort instead of
Okay.
just I'm random and I cheese. You know?
Yeah, the best thing that happens from posting those videos, man, is like for weeks and weeks and weeks after the posting that, like people will just hit me up with a clip. People I've never talked to in my life. People will just randomly message me and be like, "Dude, you look at Artosis Rage in this clip," and I'm like, what? like that's what I do now. That's my thing, is like the keeper of Artosis Rage clips. I love it. I think it's hilarious. Don't get me wrong. Like, I obviously love it.
Should
But,
just make a website that people can submit like Twitch clips, like
yeah,
create a
I
database
honestly
of
need to
Artosis
do-
Rage
I
clips.
need
Dude,
to make
you know
a
what?
place
You could
can
make a
submit.
Artosis Rage of the Day.com or something, and it just randomly picks one of the clothes.
You're on to
I love you,
something,
Dan.
man.
I love you.
Not even a bad idea though.
Just kidding.
But yeah, I love that people will just hit me. People I've never talked to in my life are just like, dude, you guys see this one? It's so good. How did we get here though? I feel like we were about to say something. We're on
Flash.
We're
Random,
just talking about Flash and,
Yeah.
and random.
random.
For a pro player, who would you like to do this next after Flash? I don't think anyone's of the level to do this other than him, and that includes both games. Yeah, like I can't imagine Cyril being talked about as a possible contender for the next big tournament with random. Maybe. I mean, I don't think so. Like he's really good off race. He played it in the Finnish championship, if you guys recall that, and ended up winning, I believe. But yeah, I don't think it's quite the same as like Flash is actually revered as a god and has actually won everything forever and stuff. So yeah. Thanks for the question there, Say Zero. I'm glad that you brought it up. Polly asks, Joey, how would your life be if Dan wouldn't love StarCraft so much?
I feel bad now.
Like, why it would
I'm
be
sorry,
fine
man.
because I'm my own person.
Yeah, I would have to find something else to watch, man. The timing is just really good. Like where I live in the East Coast and Artosis streams in the morning where he's at. Like it's just like right after work, I'm eating dinner, I'm cruising the internet, and it's just like he's like about to jump in. It's just perfect. So I watch a lot, and like I just like some Broodborn, man, some good old Artosis streaming, dude. It's good stuff. I actually am not like a big Twitch viewer though. Like I watch Artosis, and I watch Sal, I watch Uppatry because he's on when I'm in the office at work, which is where I might do a little extra browsing. But yeah.
Cool.
My life would be different. I'll say that. I'm a big fan. Yeah.
Not too different, I think, but thank you. Hyper Turtle asks, is Joey actually as nice as his username?
Nice.
He's a very nice guy.
He's nicer than his username.
I'm all right. I'm not a perfect person, but yeah, I think I get along with most people pretty good. I got a lot of friends.
He's a perfect person.
StarCraft community has been really, really nice to me. So like, yeah, I'm super grateful for you guys.
See, he's so humble and kind. Thanks for the question there. Probe, not the Australia one, he steals my thunder, asks, I often see fun poked at the TVZ Reaper opening and find it stale as well. That's right. If the next large patch was to significantly redesign the Reaper, what would you do to redesign it so that it was your dream Reaper? Are there any other units that you'd like to see undergo a major change? Yeah, please, feardragon, go ahead.
Okay. So, at the armory, you create an upgrade for the Reaper, all right? You give it +5 range on its grenades. So in the middle of late game and mid game fights, you just have like Ultralisks bouncing around at random places and everything. Because the Reapers are on the back lines as siege units that create stuns.
What if 3 Reapers could combine into a Reaper Archon that did 3 times as much damage with everything and had 3 times as much health?
I could dig it.
Yeah.
It could jump 3 times as far. You can jump over not just cliff faces now. You can actually jump over gaps now.
It just becomes a flying unit.
Yeah.
Super sick.
So
any
that
other
gap
units?
on Metalopolis is no problem
easy.
anymore.
2 Reapers into an Archon could do that one. Any units you'd like to see undergo a major change?
A major change? What pisses me off, dude? Lurkers, lurkers with burrow speed piss me off so bad when I'm playing PvZ. Losing to those suck. Has nothing to do with game design, more so with me being a shit player.
Okay.
But those are frustrating, man.
What if we remember how like burrow and unburrow were like moved out to 2 separate hotkeys? What if we made it so that if like, to combat the spammy zergs, if you already have burrowed units like lurkers and you hit the burrow key again, they accidentally burrow through the planet and actually just fall off the map and they die. So now you have to be like more careful. You can't just spam burrow willy nilly.
They burrow like one level deeper.
Yeah, they
and you
just
have
build
keep-
it to-
you
they
have
burrow
to
to
keep
12.
spamming unburrow till they get to the top.
You have multiple levels of burrow. And you have to get an
Yeah.
additional level of detection
Yeah.
to see it.
You can accidentally push down one more, and they just keep going deeper.
Yeah, there you go. Do you guys remember the
want
Hydra
to-
Roach?
I want disruptors
Oh.
to have another ability where they shoot out a ball that heals your units.
Dude, that's kind of
Oh.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Dude, it's like a reverse EMP.
Yeah. You restore those shields right away.
Dude, what if we just had an explode button on shield batteries? That was like a reverse EMP.
See,
that
we're
area.
getting into guys. This is why the map editor. This is why it's fun. We're this is the reason right here.
This is actually the worst question you could have asked me because I could go off on this.
So
for too long.
we're reversing all the damage to healing and healing to damage. Then you have like melee medics or medivacs range damaging the units.
Oh my god.
Where's this going?
You make the medevac land and it's like a tank that goes behind the units.
Wait,
Oh shit! I gotta.
you take damage as a Reaper, and then the combat trucks damage it further because normally it's healing, and now it's doing. Oh god. Okay.
These are amazing ideas, guys.
Yeah,
Thank you
disagree.
so much. Great question, Probe, not the Australian one who steals your thunder. All right. Some Drunk Canadian asks, episode 90, 10 more till 100. Any plans for the big centennial episode? Yeah, we don't know exactly what we're going to do, but we're going to do something big for episode number 100. Haven't decided yet because it's still 2.5 months off, basically. Yeah, we'll do something. Everyone, what is one mechanic / unit / aspect / map type / anything in StarCraft 2 that is underrated and you'd love to see more of? For me, infestors stealing workers to build town halls, sending much love from the east side of the Pacific.
Blink TTs.
I do wish stealing workers worked better, but Neural runs out so quickly. So it's like only probes really, and then you'd never steal a drone, and then like you'd have to steal the SCV how many times? It's like 7 seconds on Neural, right?
Yeah.
And how much is a command center? Like probably a minute to build or so.
It takes a while.
That
Then
is-
they
that
get vision
doesn't
of it
work.
every time the
Neurals
neural
in a row or
expires.
so.
Yeah.
They
That
also get
doesn't
vision
really
of the
work.
SCV and the command center every time the neural expires. So
Yeah.
they see you're building it.
All right, hold on, really quick. Can you repeat what was it? What was an ability you buffed or something?
No, it's like something that's underrated. Anything that's underrated.
Oh,
I can, like,
what
see
do you
more.
guys think about I feel like they've tried to do this like 40 times now, but like make a useful medevac upgrade, right? The one they have right for StarCraft 2, yeah.
Yeah.
The medevac upgrade, like they just made one kind of recently, right? Within the last year-ish.
I think
like-
that's good. I'm surprised we're not seeing it at all. I think it's worth it.
Yeah, it's a thing, and like it's definitely better than the other ones we used to have that gave
Yeah.
it like more
Well,
energy.
You remember the super heal? That was like super.
Yeah, that actually broke the game. They broke it so hard. Like the unit interactions were just like a Ling will never kill a Marine or something. That was pretty funny.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Man. One that really quick, I posted a link in chat, just like custom units people made. I'll post it one more time. But like this is all done with that memory exploit, like
Oh, so-
EUDs. So like using this EUD exploit, this guy basically made like a whole new unit, which is like you don't no
Damn.
modding involved. You just load up the map and it's in the map. So this was not this question, but the last question was like, what's a cool new unit idea? Just another example of like some of the cool shit people are coming up with.
It's the weirdest looking Valkyrie making a command.
Isn't
center.
it hilarious?
a
They
Valkyrie?
They take little bits of like the EMP
Yeah.
is the little like air flying out and shit. It's pretty crazy.
Oh God!
I
It's
see
really
a
clever, yeah.
Valkyrie base. I see 2 armories on the side.
Oh yeah.
And then I see the Wraith is actually the back wing.
And then the little like head of the science vessel is
Mm.
tail. Like it's insane, man. Where Brood Wars went with all this.
That's cool. As for underrated stuff, I'd like to see more of in StarCraft 2. I would like to see more late game Niduses in certain situations where I'm like nothing's happening, but you both have already built your big economies, and we see the armies kind of roaming back and forth. There was this one game that Cyril played. I think it was in WESG last year. We went over it on in depth, and it was like so cool. He went double Nidus to make sure he could get stuff out. So like double Nidus. It was a very different late game ZVT that was exciting. I'd like to see more stuff like that. Thank you for the question, some drunk Canadian. Huh?
What about Terran Niduses? You know, there's the thing that you connect your bases
The
with
bunkers.
and you can just
Oh,
let
yeah,
bio
yeah.
units go through.
Yeah.
So maybe that is totally underrated. Should be used more.
We definitely need more bunker play with the what the hell is the name of that upgrade? NeoSteel frames.
the
Just
Great
a
Tor bunker.
massive NeoSteel frame
Yeah.
bunkers going across the map. Just things popping in and out of them.
We only got it once with Boxer versus Yellow, right?
Yeah, that is true. Well, thank you for the question, some drunk Canadian. 2 more questions. Kilo asks, how much does it hurt the StarCraft 2 scene that teams in China keep disbanding constantly? Also, what has been everyone's favorite StarCraft player of all time, Brood War or StarCraft 2? About Chinese teams disbanding, I've spoken with pro gamers that are sponsored. I mean, it sucks when they lose a team, but they're just happy to have a team that's paying them a salary. We had a long period of almost no one getting team salaries in StarCraft 2, or very low team salaries, where the Chinese team is having an influx for a lot of strong pro gamers. So that's, I think overall, it's really a positive in my opinion. Yeah. So what's everyone's favorite StarCraft player of all time, Brood War or StarCraft 2?
Oh, that's such a tough one, dude. Can you really pick one favorite ever?
You
Can
have
you
to.
do that?
The Patreon question asks it, so you must.
Fuck, dude.
Hitman.
That's a
Hitman.
Did you say
Hitman
Hitman?
is Hitman is
Man, I should
like,
have known this.
literally, I never feel more motivated to play StarCraft than when I go watch like Hitman VODs. That's actually if I want to play StarCraft and I want to get myself pumped up, I go watch Hitman VODs.
Excellent. All right.
I like really struggle to answer truly because I do love so many players really dearly, but at the peak of my like fanboy levels, I would say the player I fanboy over the hardest watching over the years and stuff was probably MC back when he was just fucking
Yeah,
killings back in the early days of Wings and stuff. Like he was hype as fuck. MC was really good. And he's such a personality.
totally.
For me,
That's
in Brood War, it's definitely the guy that you can see on my like Twitter and Twitch profiles. It's definitely Reach, the Mantos itself. So that's definitely my favorite player. I followed like every single game back then when he was in the Air Force Ace and so on. Even was very nice. And I think for StarCraft 2, if I can mention another one for StarCraft 2, definitely Marine King Prime.
Oh,
so
yeah.
He was so nice. He was always so emotional when he lost and so on. Was fun
I think
guy.
that's a lot of people's answer. Definitely agree with the Reach sentiment. My favorite Protoss of all time for sure. My favorite player of all time would probably be the Terran counterpart to Reach. I love Uv. He was just such a macro beast. He was one of the Terran Bonejois, and he has like the sickest legends about him, and his skill. He was the only person that ever made me think like, is Terran actually too powerful? Because he was like, he was ridiculous. You can't. It was like he was truly ridiculous watching him play. It was amazing. He really revolutionized a lot of the game. All right. Thank you for the question. Last one from our very own Alessander. feardragon. Since your program responds to how long of a music clip would it take for you to code a complete Cannon Rush opening before you had to do anything more than say, Siri, play when I'm Grandmaster? Wait. How long?
Actually, I guess if I did if I did some screen detection, which wouldn't be too hard to determine what map was on the loading screen, which I can actually do with like OCR, I think it is pretty set. I actually think, granted, if it was like a Terran player built like their supply depot or their barracks or something where I was gonna start my cannon rush, I think I could at least get it to the 3 pylon wall, the cannon on the high ground, and possibly the cannon on the low ground. I think so. I think it's actually pretty doable.
Amazing. So you could program it doing that to like a song or something, and like You could just have a bot just can rush people on the ladder for you. You just farm points up to gold.
I could actually like after the first
Oh
after
my.
the first cannon on the high ground and the cannon on the low ground, I think you'd have to take manual control because there's too much that goes on. But I actually think I could make like one button do all of that, at least up until that point. I think so.
All right.
I mean, if you have the voice commands with the song, you mentioned earlier your voice is simulating the keyboard, but your eyes are simulating the mouse. So you can have the song play, the keyboard commands, but you have to still look at the screen and use your eyes to tell the units where to build the stuff the song's saying, you know?
So you have to sync your eyes to it. It's like a dance that you
To
do
the
with your
song,
eyes.
yes. It's like people are playing Guitar Hero or so, and you are playing StarCraft with the songs, you know?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I like it.
Oh my God.
I like it.
It's amazing.
Jesus.
At this point, should I just get like one of the Guitar Hero things and be like, I'm gonna play StarCraft with Guitar Hero?
Dude, do you think when the guys were originally programming StarCraft in their offices back in like the 90s, they ever thought Ravi would be using his guitar and electric shock watch to beat people up on the ladder?
Stuff like that is amazing. Like the guy who beat Dark Souls with bananas. Like, wow.
It really is.
I could simulate keyboard presses with my guitar.
Uh-oh.
Hold on, let me write this down.
Uh-oh.
I can't wait.
Oh, dude. What a good question this was.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Alessandro, for the question.
Thanks.
And thank you to all the patrons for the questions and the support and everything, guys. This has been a great episode. I've really enjoyed it. So I guess that episode is pretty much ending. We're gonna say goodbye to you guys, and please let us know where people can follow you, check out more of your stuff, things like that. feardragon, let's start with you. What do you want people to see and check out, and do and know?
I want people to go and check out Artosis over here and the Matcherino page for the Pylon show. ! Matcherino in the chat, guys. It is Earth Day. And the best thing you can do for Earth Day is give $1 to Artosis, who will...
the Pylon show needs the
who,
dollar.
as a former vegetarian, is, of course, the most earthly thing you could give money to.
Basically.
And yeah, feardragon64 on all social media.
Cool. MasterRey, where can people follow more of you? Do you have like a stream, your Twitter, whatever you want to plug here? Please go ahead.
Yes, I'm actually streaming a lot. So my Twitch name is MasterRey. And I'm streaming basically every weekend for some Protoss ladder action if you want. I'm also casting some tournaments sometimes, like BSL Ghost League is coming up. I will cast that.
Oh, nice.
And I'm actually also learning Korean right now every day at 6 p.m. So if you want to follow that on my Twitch, feel free.
Excellent. And of course, Joy, what do you want people to see, know, do?
Go to my YouTube to watch Artosis yell at his computer. YouTube.com/niceyt channel. That's there. And then on Twitter, nice__ username. I'm on Reddit, nice__ username. Play my mods that we talked about so much today. You can go find them in extension mods in StarCraft 2. The first one's called Free Camera, free as in beer. Free camera, just one word, and the second one is Joey Trials. So trials like a court trial. Joey Trials and Free Camera. Those are my two mods you can go play with. Thank you to everyone who continues to hit me up for work and stuff, for StarCraft 2 work. I just am really grateful to come on, of course, be on the Pylon show and just be part of this community, man. Like I can't say it enough. I'm just happy. So thank you, and that's all I got.
Great. All right. And as for me, thank you everyone for coming in. This was great. I'm actually going to be doing This Week in StarCraft in just a couple minutes, so stay tuned for that. Yeah, so I guess that's it, guys. Thank you so much for coming by, and I'll be right back with This Week in StarCraft.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Quite quickly here. Let's jump down to page number 3. Upcoming events: ESL Open Cups, ESL Open Cups AU, Gold Series Team Championship 2020 Spring, and GSL Season 1. These are some of the things we'll be mentioning here. On page 4, we see the ESL Open Cups, as well as the point standings that we're seeing. I mean, these are all things you can sign up for. So go check them out and play. It's fun to play against pro gamers. Going on to the next page, ESL Open Cups AU, we had Probe take down Scyther in the finals 3-0. Pez and Demi make it into that round of 4. Congrats to Probe. We also have Gold Series Team Championship 2020 Spring. This is, of course, going to be cast by Wardy because anytime you need StarCraft content, he is there to cast it for you. Dragon Phoenix Gaming in the lead right now. A very interesting team league. Lots of really strong players in there, so definitely check that out. We also have the 2020 GSL Season 1. You guys better be watching this. We just had an excellent night last night, the best night so far this season, in my opinion, with Ragnarok and Parting making it out. Our next couple groups are on Saturday and Wednesday, and then we'll be done the round of 24. For Saturday, 1 p.m. KST. Check it out, TY, Bomber, Armani, and Deer. Don't forget that we are now on YouTube and Afrika TV only for GSL. All right, this week in StarCraft. Oh, cool. That's all of our, 10 years of GSL showing a lot of the different champions. With how many of these guys won more than one, I'm not surprised that there's not that many faces. Going forward, ESL Cup Korea, we had Zest over Solar 3-2 in the finals with Armani and Jim Rising making it to the top 4. Pretty sick. Congrats to all for their good performances. We also have ESL Cup EU, Clem taking it down. And quite a journey. Look at that. DNS, Guru, Neeb, and Lambo beaten at the end of the day. Congrats to Lambo for that second place finish. And Neeb and Denver for hitting the top 4. We also have ESL Cup NA, where Future defeated Bly 3-2. This makes him the first American to win the NA Cup. So finally, we get someone from the region to take it down. Normally, it's a European or Korean winning there. So huge congrats to Future taking out Bly. And then, of course, TLO and Nice for hitting the top 4. Wow, even beat Party on the way. That's pretty sick. All right. We also have Cheesadelphia Online. Euthermal is our first, I believe, European champion of Cheesadelphia, winning the online tournament 4-1 over Future. Looks like TLO and Estrella made that top 4. Looks like quite a fantastic tournament. You can definitely go check out those VODs. Of course, we have the links to everything within the show notes. Olima League, number 188. Innovation versus Zest in the finals, and Innovation 3-0's Zest. It's kind of a big surprise. Zest has been playing so well lately, and actually 2-0 Trap or a Dream in the previous round. So definitely playing some good PvT. Definitely a must-watch. Check it out. You can always check out the Patreon for Oli Moly. It's the best replay pack that you can get on a regular basis. All right, we have the Kung Fu Cup 2020. Solar over Stats in the finals 3-2 with Trap and Patience hitting that top 4. You can check out the VODs over on Creighton's and Wardy's streams. The Wardy TV European League 2020 has concluded, and Seoul ended up winning over Raynor in the finals. It looks like Kelliger made it into 3rd place. So congrats to all, and Seoul for that big win. There's a big prize pool as well. You can check it out, of course, over on Wardy's channel. The OSC King of the Hill Weekly. Bly wins 2, Goblin wins 5, and Mana wins 4 games. So it's a King of the Hill style. I guess you don't technically have an overall winner at the end. But you can check that out over on Creighton's stream. King of the Hill is always a lot of fun. We also have Zel Naga Finest. Hero Marine takes it down 3-0 over a laser in the finals. Goblin and Lambo hitting that top 4. Congrats to them. And this is streamed by Red Bull and O Gaming TV, cast by Wardy and Roddy. Check it out. All right, the Legacy Weekly Japan. We have number 213, Psyarch over Nauticon 2-0. Psyarch takes his throne once again of Japan. You can definitely check this out if you are living in Japan, speak Japanese, that type of thing. Be a part of your community. All right, Battle of the Americas. We had I'm Eurotrash 3-2 over Paco Mike. Of course, he's got a U.S. flag. I love it. Congrats to I'm Eurotrash for taking down the tournament. Cranky Ducklings did that stream. All right, we have Amantes de StarCraft 2 for StarCraft lovers. 2nd edition. Zerglord won 3-1 over Xenho. You can check this out on Cosmos SC2 Twitch TV channel. We also have La Espira FFA Battle Royale Tournament. And it looks like Universe took this down. Jim Rising in second place. Yeah, $50 prize pool, Latino players only. It was streamed by Cranky Ducklings. We also have the Grand Platypus Open. Go-Go Joey takes it down 3-0 over Pez in the finals. Miomeka and Azure rounding out that top 4. Congrats to Go-Go Joey. Again, cast by Cranky Ducklings. Right, the Global Clan Invitational. This is cast by Creighton. You can check it out on his Twitch channel. Something he talked about before with us on the Pylon Show. So definitely check it out. A lot of really top-end players in there. We have the Global Clan Invitational. Here's some of the brackets. It's like we have that top 8 going forward. Check that out as well. Oh, very good spread of races and everything in there, which is nice to see. The Spicy League Season 2, Team Panda Bear Me, 3-2 single horny ponies. Okay. He's finest and disc 4-1. All right. You can check out all those things. It was cast again by Cranky Ducklings. Robots 2020 is Season 1 by ESChamp. You can check this all out, of course, on eschamp.com. Tier in the finals, a very close game, victorious. Micro Machine loses for the first time all tournament. Well-executed snipe build by Spiny. Tier Worker Zealot rushes Paul twice before taking mercy on the viewers with a different strategy. All right, so you can check this out. Of course, this is StarCraft 2 bots over at eschamp.com. Championship of Russia 2020. Vanya leads Group A, Braddock leads Group B. We have Group C and D being played this weekend. So yeah, check it out. A very deep talent pool over in Russia. And that stream, I'm not actually sure where that stream is going to be for you, but we do have the brackets within the show notes and everything. Well, check it out if you can. All right, the Pizza Pie Bi-Weekly. Namshar 3-0 over Vindicta and wins his second pizza. The Star Killer, he lost in the round of 8 this time. We're still sitting way up on top with 21 pizzas, but congrats to Namshar, the new in his new home in North America, and a good victory there in the Pizza Pie Bi-Weekly, the important tournament that we really do this week in StarCraft 4. All right, Team Liquid Star League 5. So TSL, for those of you who are slightly newer, or not even newer, but still old school to the scene, it's been about 8 years since the last TSL. TSLs were really hype. They were a huge tournament back in the day for Brood War and then moved over to StarCraft 2 as that came out. It's going to be awesome. There's a bunch of qualifiers coming. You can see some of the invites here as well. It's a fantastic tournament. So you definitely want to check this out. They always have great production value and everything. Shopify seems to be the main sponsor of them. So give some support, watch the qualifiers, watch the main tournament. There's no doubt it's going to be a really great one. All right, the 2020 StarCraft 2 Gold Sub-League Weekly Spring Season Tournament, April 25th, the games between 2020. The tournament schedule. So top 128 to top 16 is happening this weekend. And actually, the top 16 of the championship will happen the next day. So check that out. We have the official website in the show notes if you're interested. All right, this week in Brood War. Brood War G's weekly scan takes down yet another one over DeWalt in the finals, becoming kind of a normal finals here in, well, I'd call it the foreign scene. Scan, of course, being Korean player, though. Even beat Zealot on his way up. So very, very strong showing there by the wonderful Korean Terran Scan. Of course, this is organized by the amazing Russ Brain. You can check it out. The replays over on Esport Fund. And hold on one second, guys. Okay. Oops. All right. Afrika TV StarCraft League Season 9. The ASL is finishing up this Sunday. We'll have the finals of Zero vs. Light. That's going to be amazing. It's going to be a best of 7 match. Going to be real good. The third place match already played. Flash stomped Soma 3-0. What can you do? Check it out for sure. Of course, myself and Tasis will be tweeting the links, and that is going to be a finals you really want to watch. Zero and Light are in unbelievably good shape. The STPL, Shin'Lan Tank Pro League, Kix's League. It's Season 3 is starting up this weekend. Have a lot of great matches there. I believe it'll be Rapid and Kix casting. It generally is. So you check that out on Twitch's channel, STPLTV. Right. Interview with Artosis. That's me. Woo! Interview with Artosis about playing versus Brood War AI. Sonko sent me a big questionnaire. He actually sent it like 2 weeks ago. I finally filled it out yesterday. Yeah, I had a stream playing all of the top Brood War AIs and did an interview about it. So the VOD for that is on my YouTube, or you can check out at makingcomputerdothings.com the interview about it. He has some very good questions about it. All right, this week in Awesome, the Q presents The Back Seat. Maynard, Pig, feardragon, and I usually get together to play some team games, but this day we did something different. We took turns backseating each other's ladder games. Oh yeah, they talked about this a little bit before, how this group of friends that streams together quite a bit, they were kind of talking and watching each other's games, telling each other what to do. Sounds like they had a bunch of fun. Check it out. All right, the second slide of this, the Pig Show melds with the voice of Nero to talk all about StarCraft and content creation. So I think they maybe did a dual podcast. You can check out the Pig Show and the voice of Nero, both on their link trees. This is kind of a cool thing that Cobra and his gang of nerds are putting together so that everyone has links in very easy to get places. So check it out, Pig StarCraft and NeuroZerg on Linktree. Team Razor Master Classes. Lily's production list: 1 Marines, 2 Seachanks, 3 1 Raven, 4 Fast Stim. E-Punk's Lilikanen was featured in a Team Razor Master Classes video, which he explains how to execute a TVP cheese with which he beat Showtime with. For those of you who don't know, Lilikanen was quite a strong Warcraft 3 player, if I'm not mistaken, and is a good like middle level pro, I would say, in the Europe scene, which means he's actually very, very good. He's not like a name that you see winning tournaments, but definitely a strong player that everyone knows. And when a player like this makes content like this, like I haven't seen this content, but generally something like this is going to be really awesome. Because it's like, I don't know how to explain this without sounding like condescending or something, but like if you're not the pro that wins all the tournaments and you make the content, a lot of the time it's going to be easier to understand than whatever Cyril is thinking if he tried to put it into a video, if that makes sense. And I'm not saying that Cyril wouldn't make a video that was very easily understandable or something, but anyways, you get my drift. Check out the video if you are interested in learning that. Okay. An announcement from Flash. Goodbye, Terran. Hello, Random. Finally, Flash, we talked about this on the show some today. He has decided to stop playing Terran officially, goes to Random. This is the first time in forever in StarCraft 1. The last Random pro we had, I believe, was CHRH, Chura, and he switched to Terran because it's basically impossible to play Random. But if anyone can do it, it's the guy that's the smartest in the world at the game. So, yeah, that's going to be very interesting. We will keep you informed as he starts to actually play matches with Random. All right, that does it for this week in StarCraft. We threw it at the back of the show for this episode because, again, we did have MasterRey on, who was kind enough to come on the show despite it being the middle of the night in Germany. So, yeah, here you go. Kind of a different format, but yeah, let us know if you like that, I guess. Thank you so much for watching the Pylon show, and a big cheers to our entire staff, because I definitely do not do this alone. You guys know I'm not capable of that. So thanks again for watching, and we will see you next week. We got to have a real talk about this. These players are so fucking bad. There's no way to beat them. They rush every game. They walk through mines. They do stupid, stupid strategies the entire time. Anyone in the chat who wants to say that people don't win because they're bad, raise your hand so I can ban you right now. Because you're a fucking idiot. These players are the worst. And I can't do it anymore. They're too bad. The past 10 to 12 years, my mind has been completely consumed with StarCraft. I watch it, and it just makes sense to me. How does that hit that? How does that hit that?
I see every little tiny thing that happens.
Yeah, fuck you!
I just love StarCraft. It's the most beautiful thing in the world.
Fuck this game, man. What a pile of shit. I don't like StarCraft. It's a stupid game. This is the stupidest fucking thing in the world. Wow. This fucking game is so dumb. It's so fucking stupid. Oh, it's so fucking stupid. It hurts so much. Oh, yeah? Oh, yeah? Is that where you're supposed to fucking go if I click the bottom left? Is there? Were you starting to get some games that were okay, Artosis? Go fuck yourself, Artosis, you idiot. So strong. What a strong player. And it's like, oh, you lose then. Ha 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 ha! You lose then, idiot! Guys, I'm just a chill streamer. That's it. I just relax. I'm happy with how the game is and how hard the races are. You're so good. You're so good, you fucking idiot. Dude, you literally don't know what you're talking about, guy in the chat. Holy shit. How about I didn't have any fucking scans? Is that a reason? Could that be a reason? Can I use that as a reason, guy in the chat? Is that one okay? Not having scans? Oh, thank you. I need to work on my TVP. Thanks, guy in the chat. Thank you for that. You guys are really helpful today. You guys have a lot of great ideas, and it's really a valuable input. These players are just so fucking awful. Oh, they're not bad because they win! Should I pretend that, like, I lost because he's making good decisions? Bullshit! This guy... I am just this guy that likes StarCraft, you know? Motherfucker! Fuck! It's so nasty that Protoss wins so often. Did I make mistakes? Yes. Did he make mistakes? Oh, fuck yeah, he did. He was terrible. And so he gets map control because he's so bad. You have to be kidding me that anyone can be this bad. What? What? Who does that? It's so stupid. It's so fucking stupid. Oh my god! Why do I have to play against this shit? It's this racial imbalance. You have nothing else to really blame within RTS because you're not on a team. There's almost zero RNG in the game. How many shots am I how many shots did I just fucking miss? Why is there space behind my minerals here? Why? I'm so glad I'm 36 years old and I still fucking play this. Do subscribe. I stream regularly. It's like the thing I do now. I'm very happy. Having a good time.
Shout out to the Pylon show, the greatest show on the internet.